Welcome, welcome everybody to today's stream. Hope you had a nice day so far. Welcome, welcome. Let's see how it goes, what we can do today. Just have some fun in Guild Wars. I have some very spicy stuff to try out today. Let's do some PvP and some PvE first, and then I want to test some crazy world versus world builds, or rather not test, more like showcase, because I already tested and it's insane. It's really, really good, but more on that later. Welcome, welcome. As always, if you have any comments, any questions, let me know. I'm always happy to answer questions as well. Doesn't matter if it's Guild Wars 2 related or not. And yeah, let's just see what we can do here in the early morning Guild Wars 2 gaming. It's unlikely that we get a good match, but you know, what can you do? It's actually quite likely that we need 5 minutes to queue pop, and then it will probably still be a match that, or especially then it will be a match that is not like high quality, but at least we can try out some builds, have some fun. Let me know if you have any builds that you want to see. Maybe I can play them and show them. But for now, I will adjust a little bit to the comp that we have. So I wouldn't go for example, 3 supports or 4 side noders or something like that. That sounds insane. So I would rather try to adjust my build to what my teammates actually likely play, but you never know. Last time I encountered a burn firebrand. I expected it was a support firebrand, but it was full burn firebrand. Obviously, this guy lost the match. So yeah, I mean, it's not like the build is the thing that actually matters the most, but if you play a build that is very, very test or draft style, then let's say it's quite likely that the team that this player is on will not have a good time. Meta builds are after all meta for a reason, so let's see what we can do. This build is extremely strong right now, a lot, and I'm talking a lot of people actually play this. It's really, really good. I think together with Condi Soul Beast and Condi Spectre, it's like on top of the ranked picks right now. It's really, really good. Just so much damage and a lot of sustain. So let's see if we can play this, or if I swap to something a little bit more filling the niche that is needed from my team. Welcome, welcome. If you have any questions, as always, let me know. Otherwise, we just game here and see what we can do. Oh my god, let's see. We have 2 Tempests. This is a side node Tempest. Is this a support? Yes, that's a support Tempest. And this is a support Chronomancer. So yes, nice. That's what we want. We have two people playing support. Yeah, then I think I actually play Willbender here, to be honest. Because if I go for Reaper here, or Necromancer in general, I feel like I might be the target from all the Condi builds in the enemy team, and that can be really worth to consider. That Harbinger, if you get like 10 Condis on you, you will actually die to it. So it's really important that I actually survive this, especially with 2 supports. I feel like Harbinger would be a rather good pick, but if they have like 3 Condi picks, which is quite likely here, then I struggle a lot. And on Willbender, at least I can pressure the Necromancers quite well, even if I'm Condi bursted. So that's my thinking process here. But with 2 supports on this map, I feel like this will either be a stomp in our direction because they can't get through our support wall, or we will not have any damage. You know, that's like, I'm the only damage dealer in our team. So I wanted to get something that is actually big damage, or in a team fight, and that's like Willbender is quite good for that. But this will be a hard one. This will be a really hard one. Let's see. I try my best. I try to commentate as I play. So I try to actually tell what I'm thinking about and why this is what I'm doing. But of course, I try to concentrate on winning as well. So I try my best. Welcome, Winslow. Welcome, welcome. This will be a tough match. That will be like With 2 supports, you know, you never know what are they doing. Why are we playing with 2 supports? Yeah, you can switch characters while waiting, but as soon as the match starts in a casual ranked match, you are locked, so you can't go back to a different character. If you're in AT, so an automated tournament, you can actually do that the whole match. That's the weird part. Okay, this guy, oh my god, this guy is really aggressive. I think we can actually kill this guy. There's my team. Oh, they are all close. I mean, if we get the kill here, that would be fine. Oh my god, this guy's so tanky. Stop running. Nice, we got him. But my team lost close, obviously. This guy is... They send a necromancer close. Yeah, it's good to know. I'm not sure if it's intended that you can do that, but that's what they actually do. Okay, this is a support. No, that's Kalki. Okay, that's a good player. So nice, we got some burst down here. We wait out for the... Nice, we got the shroud. Now we should actually... Oh, this well saved them. Nice, we got the kill. We should try to get Kalki. Come on, yes, thanks. This is intense. This is intense. I should leave here. We are 1v3ing this guy. That's not good. I want to help my team here, I guess. Snowball a bit. This guy's good. We have to go on this ranger, I guess. Okay. I think we forced a lot of utility skills here. I think he's dead here. No, that's a risky chase. Yeah, I will not chase this because I will chase into the respawns. And that's always a bad thing. So I will try to kill someone else here. Come on. That hit. I'm always surprised how far this reaches. It's actually insane. Thought it will not reach. Nice, we get the kill almost. Oh my gosh. We have to be a bit careful here and disengage. This is such a close match. Holy shit. I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe my voice helps you fall asleep. Nah, I'm dead now. Nice. That was a nice teleport. I have to be honest. I was spamming it, so I got it because otherwise I might have died here off point. That was quite close, I have to be honest. Oh my god. So we have to kill this guy here. This is annoying me, but he's still alive. Nice, we got the CC. And I think we get the kill here. Nice, we get it. Oh my god. So much condis on me. Nice, we got the kill. We have to get the rest here. This is insane, this match. Welcome, Filthy. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Nice, very good. That's good. Yeah, normally I would say I try to be really relaxed. In PvP, I try even more, but it's actually a little bit harder, I have to be honest. You know, especially with teammates that are just playing double support for fun in a ranked match. I have to be careful to not get the kill before this guy actually gets the resurrect here. Yeah. Oh. Come on, get the kill, guys, please. Nice. There we go. So the ranger is dead, and I think it will not get rallied. Yeah, very good. So I will go mid, I guess. Oh my god. And it doesn't matter where I go, my teammates are dying. Okay, there are 3 people here. Okay. I have to get the kill on the necro because oh my god, they're 1v2ing them as a support. Oh my god. Get some Condi cleanse here. Get another round of Condi cleanses. Go to the kite spot here. Try to survive for as long as possible. Because I probably die here for sure. Yeah, I mean, better try on point here because I mean, I can't survive that against the double range combo that they have. Hopefully my team gets a kill on close, but it looks dire because they are actually in a quite good spot because they have the double cap, the enemy team, and they are pushing to our far and actually are surviving there. So that's no, maybe not that I get killed there. But if we can't get out of this, so to say, really annoying close thing where they all spawn camp us. I mean, I guess this guy is so dead now. Dodge in 3, 2, 1 and get this assist. Don't kill. No, let him bleed. Come on, guys. Going for the decap here just to make sure that I might get anything done from my team here. Have to be careful to not get potted on. Yeah, that's why I don't like to fight here, because I always push into respawns without knowing it. My team actually got a 2-cap now, but instantly lost it again. Ooh, this is a tough one. Being relaxed in PvP, yeah. Post this on YouTube? Yes, I will. I can't win against this one. A long-term goal dilemma. What is this dilemma? Yeah, I mean... Come on, get the kill here. Yeah, it's unwinnable with 2 supports that are not even playing correctly. You know, they're pushing always close as 2 supports. You should never be in it. If we go for 2 points, 1 support to each point, we actually have a really good chance. But my team is just trolling with how they are fighting it. Just AFK and block. Yeah, I mean, this was a fun match, you know. I would say for me it was fun, you know. I did a lot of damage. I had a lot of fun killing people. It was not winnable in that sense for the most part, I would say. But I mean, I can try at least to have fun. Not gonna waste my time arguing with people who are worse than... Yeah, exactly. You know, arguing in PvP or arguing in general with players that just offend you, just ignore them, you know, or block them. I'm completely fine with that. You know, it's what can you do? It's like they will not change their opinion in any way. So why would you talk to them? You know, just not possible. There we go. Got the dailies done. Weeklies as well. Very good. So let's catch up in chat. Welcome everyone. Welcome. So let's see, maybe we can do some fractals or some strike missions. I have a question. Can I enter all location on free trial version, or do I need to buy expansion for that? So you need to go for the core maps. You can actually enter all of the locations. So like this core part here that you can see, you can actually do that in the free trial. But as soon as you want to go to Heart of Maguma, which is Heart of Thorns, if you want to go to the Crystal Desert, which is Path of Fire, if you want to go to, let's just go down, Kanta, you need to go to End of Dragons. So the locations that are really, so to say, at the borders of the classic world map are actually bound or locked behind expansions, but the like 40 core maps are on the normal core free-to-play version. Yeah, so you have crazy amounts of content to explore if you're in the free version, but if you want to get to every single map, then you need the expansions, and you need to actually also get the Living World seasons. Yes. When I went back to Guild Wars 2 last autumn, I said to myself, I will craft my first legendary armor when I play 2 professions on the same armor type. Now I play Necromancer, Thief, and Rev. Oh no. I mean, I guess then you have to just go for all 3 of them. Yeah, that's how you have to do it then. What's that? IDS plus day. What is that? Good question. I don't know. Well, you can't force people to change their opinion since it's called opinion for a reason. Exactly. You know, it's. I don't want, especially if someone is offending me and they have an opinion that I played bad or that I just did something wrong, whatever. I don't want to argue with them. If they offend me in the first place, I don't want to argue with them at all. And in PvP in general, why would you argue with someone? It's not like it's like helping anyone, because it's quite unlikely that you actually find a reasonable point of where you say, okay, we both have now our point made and we agree to agree or agree to disagree, whatever. Yeah, I think that will not happen with most PvP players, especially if they're ones that flame you. So I totally understand that if you say, okay, if someone is flaming me, instantly blocking them, ignoring them, or just in general deactivating the chat, because I would say in 95% of the cases in PvP, the chat is used for some unnecessary toxic stuff or some unnecessary things in general that we don't need to talk about. You know, that you write some crazy strategy in team chat it's very unlikely in ranked. So I can understand why people would actually just disable the chat, or at least make it invisible. Yeah, sure. So I can level up to 80 on free version. Yes, you can do that. Yeah, you can play until. Actually, you can explore all the stuff and get level 80. You can actually get a lot of stuff. You don't, let's say, it's more like a free trial, because you can't get the elite specs, you can't get to the expansion maps. You are missing a lot of content like raids and, for example, strike missions. Only one of them, I think, is possible to get for you. But in general, you can explore a lot of stuff. You have like easy 100 hours in the free trial version. But at some point, you have to purchase an expansion, I would say, to actually get to the coolest part of Guild Wars 2. Yeah. Yeah. But I would say it's really nice if you just start with a free trial version, have fun, and if you understand the game for better after a while and just feel the game for way more, like saying, okay, it's time for me, it's what I like, then you can purchase one or even a bundle of expansions for sale. Yeah. So there is actually a lot of options there. You can play and see, okay, I want to get, for example, Reaper, which is an elite spec for Necromancer. I really like that one, so you need to get Heart of Thorns for that one. You can do that without buying all the others expansion. You will get that quite cheap. So that's my recommendation. Slowly play the game, have fun, get level 80, explore the world map, have more fun. And if you see that you actually enjoy the game a lot, then you can purchase an expansion or a bundle, actually. Yeah. So if you don't have any gold, that's a question from YouTube, and you want to get some gold, I actually have some gold kites coming up, but I also have a whole topic, a whole playlist on YouTube talking about how to make gold with different ways to do that. So if you reach level 80, there are almost infinite ways of making gold. I'm showcasing like right now what is a really good way. Doing the Ice Blood Saga strike missions is really good. Doing fractals, which I will do later. And there are so many ways to actually get a lot of crazy good gold per hour passively all the time. So just try to have fun. And the most important part is, I mentioned it in my upcoming videos as well, is just saving gold on stuff that you actually need. So if you go, for example, for legendary, if you want to go for Twilight, yeah, which is the legendary greatsword, if you want to go for this one, you should save the money, should save the materials and stuff that you need for that, and not purchase, like, in the meantime, 7 different other things. Yeah. Neck Romancer, exactly. Yesterday in PvP, someone in my team said he won't play because he won't play with an... Holy shit, I don't put... That's actually... What? That's insane. You know, I won't say that here in chat. I don't want to get banned on Twitch, but that's insane. That's insane. I mean, I know people in PvP especially are completely stupid sometimes, but this is like on top of the thing. Why would you say something like that? That's actually a bannable offense in Guild Wars 2 as well, you know, if someone says something like that. That's actually crazy. Is it possible for Chronomancer to make a low effort build for open world boss fights that will do high DPS? So let's see. Chronomancer in general. The problem with Chronomancer is that Chronomancer, if you want to get high DPS, you have to use a Continuum Split. And as soon as you use a Continuum Split on Chronomancer, I would say it's not a low effort build anymore, because then you have to understand how to actually use your skills there. You have to spam them in there because it's just a short time. So in general, it's like, yeah, could be worth it, could not be. So that's the first part. And the second part is an open world build for Chronomancer. I would just either use, if you're in a group, I would use just the classic either heal Chronomancer, or I would use the quickness or the alacrity DPS Chronomancer version that I have build guides about. This is really, really easy to do, really, really good, but it's not low effort in that sense. I have a solo Chronomancer guide, which is actually really low effort if you have one combination of relics and stuff. I would still say it's not the highest, so to say, low intensity or the lowest intensity possible. It's like still pressing a lot of buttons or some buttons, but it's easy to play. You know, it doesn't have a crazy rotation. You can just spam your buttons and you will be fine. But if you don't like to press a lot of buttons, then this build might not be for you. I think Chronomancer always has that kind of issue that, yes, it might be a little bit brain off. You can make a build that is brain off, but a build without low APM, it's quite hard. That's the problem. Welcome, Gabriel. Welcome. I have a quick question before going to bed. Is it okay if I go heal Firebrand full Minstrel for T4 Fractals and World vs. World? Yes, of course. This is completely fine. Just if you're going for CMs, sometimes it's important that you go do some damage as well. But for T4 Fractals, full Minstrel is completely fine. It's actually, I would say, the most recommended way, because then you are always the stone that breaks the last, you know, and your whole team is like very likely to be dead before you, which should be the case as a healer. So sure, go for it. Really, really, really good option, yeah. I will do a full tier list after, let's say, the balance patch. So for every single thing. So I will talk about DPS, I will talk about supports. I will even talk about the open world again, I think, depending on how much changes, because the next balance patch actually is impacting a lot of stuff. I will talk about how good classes are overall. I will talk about PvP, of course. I might even do a roaming tier list if there are some crazy changes. So there are some crazy tier lists coming up, Filthy, after this balance patch, where I would say some updated versions and some really, really crazy new ones, because I would say it's actually important to talk about the big changes there. Yeah. So is the best way to make gold is to do raids? No, not at all. Raids are actually really bad. They give you once a week, like 50 to 120 gold or something. So it's quite worthwhile, but it's only once a week. So it's really bad in making gold in that sense. I would say fractals, so dungeons in that sense. Fractal dungeons are probably the best way to actually get started without crazy stuff. Yeah. You need to learn what you don't have any huge amounts of liquid gold. It's mostly exchanging X for gold. Exactly. You know, it's like I have like almost 10k gold in my wallet, which is not very typical. Not a lot of people have that. Typically, people have more like a lot of stuff in the, let's say, material storage and you can just sell that, you know. If, for example, I have like 1.5k ectos, if I sell those, you know, it's just stuff that you get passively. If you sell those, you actually get a decent amount of gold, you know. It's like almost 80, let's say 75 gold or something that you get from that. It's actually, yeah, you have a lot of stuff in your material storage that you could sell and you get money from that. About our chrono guide, I'm not into making an advertisement, but Maisel on YouTube has a full wiki page about builds for people. Yeah, I mean, I have that as actually the same, you know, Maisel has that as well, but I have actually, I would say, quite a lot of builds for all game modes as well, not only PvE. So you can just type !builds in Twitch chat. Yeah, and I have that as well. And there is a list of all my builds on YouTube, build guides about it for all game modes, for all types of players, so you can just check that out as well. And I have like Chronomancer, I have like 5 guides about Chronomancer, even more. So Chronomancer has a lot of different builds and I have all of them covered for all game modes actually. So be sure to check that out if you want that, yeah. What would you say is the highest DPS Celestial open world build? Yeah, it's Renegade. I'm pretty sure, Winslow, you're right. I think it's Renegade. If you can actually play it as aggressive as possible. The thing is, if you, for example, a lot of fights where you need to have an open world build, a dedicated one with Celestial, because you get actually hit a lot and stuff. Sometimes they are really hard and you can't keep up the damage because they're actually, so to say, forcing you to go into range, forcing you to do mechanics and stuff. If you have that, then sometimes other builds are better. But I would say if you can, in an ideal world, the highest DPS build for Celestial is Renegade, with the exception of, for example, Reaper. Condi Reaper has the ability to reach 30k, whereas Renegade reaches like 22k. So 30k is like a big jump up, but Reaper is like only working if you know what you're doing. It's like really, for example, Nomixia does a Fractal Challenge mode solo with that, and Reaper is the only thing that actually is capable of doing that consistently, very fast, because it has so much damage output, even for an open world build. But that means that you actually have to understand the fight very well to actually get that done. Renegade is a bit safer, for sure, yeah. So fractals is like, you can farm fractals, which is really insane, like Fractal 42, I think it is, Fractal Mitrin farm. You can do that all day, 24/7, and you get consistently like 50 to 60 gold per hour, something like that. It's insane, but you need a fast group for that. If you don't have that, then I would say, for the most part, it's better to go for just the daily fractals, which we will do in a bit after this. So going for the daily fractals with the CMs, if you do that, so the challenge modes, it will take around like 1 hour to 2 hours, depending on your team. And you get at least 60 gold out of that, something like that. It's really, really good. Almost forgot to turn the effect LOD back on. Very good. So fractals are really, really good. You're hyped for the Heal Vindicator? Yeah, the Heal Vindicator will be really fun. I'm not sure how good it will be, I have to be honest. We will see that one. But I personally think it will be really fun to play. I will do a lot of builds after the patch where I test a lot of different things as well. So for example, Heal Vindicator, Heal Tempest, I think all of those will be really, really cool. I will try them out and see how they go and how well they are. Oh no, it's again. What the fuck? Sorry, guys. It crashes every time in my Icebrute Saga strike missions. It crashes so often. It's insane. Like every day it crashes at least once when I'm in the Icebrute Saga strike missions. Is it just me, or do multiple of you have the same problem? It's crazy. So now I'm back. It's crazy. Happens so frequently now. It's like not like consistently like my PC or something is the problem, because it's like once a day. It's really like once a day when I do some strike missions or something, it crashes. Fractals are 5 man. Okay, so apparently it's just me. Yeah, that's bad then. Yeah, fractals are 5 person, yeah. Welcome, Snowdrop, welcome. I'm actually main engineer, but still don't have EOD. Would you recommend me to play Mechanist in PvE, PvP? I'm hesitating with rerolling. I think Mechanist is really, really good for PvE. I would not play it in PvP. In PvE, it's really good, especially as you can play it as a power rival mech, which is really safe, a low intensity build. You can play it as a healing build. You can play it as an electricity support. It's like a really good solo build. It's like covering all the niches on a single build. It's really, really good. In PvP, no, it's not so much. Yeah. Welcome, Alpha, welcome. New player here recently purchased the POF Heart of Thorns EOD pack. What would you in your top 3 meta events for gold farming? Dragonfall, Drizzlewood Coast, probably. It's the last one. I don't know, maybe chat knows what the best one. Dragon's End can be really worthwhile if you have a fast group, but it's very unlikely to get nowadays. I think Auric Basin is still a very decent farm as well. Stuff like that. I have a top 10 guide about gold making, so you can check that out on my YouTube channel as well, where I mention all the best farms as well. Yeah. Octarine, yeah, Octarine is really fun. I like to do it, even though I did it like, I don't know, 400 times, or even more already. It's like, I do it still quite frequently because I think it's very fun. It gives just very good amount of passive loot that you get consistently all the time, and you get the chance of a liquid Aurelium infusion, which is like 1.7k gold. So if you drop that, you get like big gold boost as well. So I think it's just a good all-around kit. Yeah. So Auric Basin might not be the highest gold per hour, but it has a really decent, just consistent way of farming it. I like it a lot. Anomaly is good, yes, but you can only do it once. That's the thing. You can only do this one once per day, whereas other meta events, for example, the Auric Basin, you can actually do multiple times if you wanted to, I guess. Yeah, fast farming is amazing for the tier lists and all the just how to do it, but take a bit of, let's say, with a grain of salt what they mentioned there, because they have gold per hours for their very organized squads. That means that they are really, really fast and do everything very efficiently. If you're just joining an open world group that does it, doesn't mean that they will do the same gold per hour, because they might be less efficient, they might be slower, so keep that in mind. But the general gist holds true for the most part, yeah. Yeah, I do, yeah, exactly, the same combo that you mentioned that you do here. That's what I do as well if I do open world stuff. Just going for Taria, Octavine, Pinata. Those things, they are really fun. That was not a good rotation here, but okay, it's fine. You have to be careful because this is so annoying if you don't have stability here on this file. Honestly, any meta which requires DPS or any form of coordination is out of the question. Even you has massive skill issues nowadays. Yeah, I would say DPS is like, the problem is not only DPS, it's also finding people that actually are willing to organize. You know, even if the as soon as you organize in Dragon's End, as soon as you organize Drizzlewood Coast and that kind of matters in a crazy, let's say, just pack group way, just putting people into sub squads and stuff like that, you actually have a very, very easy time of killing the boss. It doesn't even matter if you have good DPS or not. It's just the organizing part, I feel like. And a lot of people are not willing to do that. Or most commanders are just joining a map saying, oh, I want to do this event now. And that's about it. Then you will not have crazy good DPS because of that. And some events like Dragon's End, I wouldn't say require it, but are way easier to do if you have decent DPS. So, yeah. That's I would say, the problem here. So Snowdrop, if you want, we can do after this run, we can do some fractals if you're in for it. I play PvE endgame and World vs. World mostly. Soulbeasts are always playing in merge. Therefore, in an adapt trade line, only the second trade is interesting. Wouldn't you think it's more interesting if Soulbeasts merge and unmerge in their playstyle? Yes, I would agree with your assumption there that it would be more interesting. But I feel like they tried that at the beginning of when Soulbeasts came out. They really tried to make this the kind of playstyle they wanted to be. And it was like, it never worked out in that way. Most people played Soulbeast when it's easy to play because you permanently stay merged and you lose your pet. I'm not joking. This is the part where a lot of people really enjoy why Soulbeast is, why they are playing Soulbeast. Because they don't have their pet and they can use their pet skills, so to say. So they accepted it at some point and said, okay, if I'm PvE and even in PvP and World vs. World at this point, they just say, okay, we leave it at that and we say, okay, we give in and say, yeah, it's okay to stay permanently in there. At the beginning, they tried to do that so that you have boons that you get when in and out and swapping and stuff, but they removed that over the course of time and it's now very, very less incentivized to do so. Yeah, especially with the thing that you can swap the pets now in the one as well, so in the merged form if you have the trade for that. that was not the case, so you always had to go out, swap pet, go back in. That was how it was before. Now you have the trade, you can easily do it without going out. So it's just the playstyle was apparently not what people wanted to have for the most part. And that's why they over time just made it easier to stay in there all the time, I guess. What's the best healer for PvE? It's Chronomancer, I would say. And for PvP, it's Tempest or Chronomancer. Those two are really, really good. I find convergence is really profitable for the current endgame. There are 8 CMs. If you can do the convergence to CM, they are amazing. Yeah, they are really, really good. But you have to find groups that are actually willing to do that, and you have to organize them, and you have to actually find decent players to do that. But if you have that, it's insane. It's really good gold per hour. Good point there. Yeah, good point. Welcome, Heavenfire. Welcome, welcome. Are we doing 9 person? We do 9? Okay, we do 9. Yeah, I mean, the Unload Deadeye is a really good pick, not only for people that start out as a thief, but for most people that want to have a low intensity build for strike mission and raids. It's insane. It's really like most people would do more DPS if they would play this build. I'm not joking. Even the quickness version is very easy to play. So if you want to have a raiding strike build that is a DPS and is very safe, this is the one for you. It's really, really good. I have a guide on it on my YouTube channel, and I would say the important part about how to understand this one is that you have to understand that it is only good in a single target encounter. As soon as you have some kind of cleave going on, it's very hard to actually keep up with the DPS because you have to pierce, and in most situations I would say it's not working for you. Yeah, so that's why I wouldn't recommend it in fractals, but in strikes and raids, it's really, really good. Welcome, Mr. Broken One. Welcome, welcome. So if you are, I mean, you can join my group. It's always like I'm pugging, so everyone is welcome, so to say. But oftentimes I find the people faster than you could join. So at some point we will do a stream, let's say stream viewers only raid. We can do that. But right now I'm just doing pugging, and if you are in EU, you can join. Yeah. Currently going for Generation 2 Legendary, but can't decide which one to go for. I mean, the only thing that I would recommend is not going for Flames of War. You know, this is like the most ugly Legendary in existence. Never go for that one. It's like, it's also very expensive, and yeah, I wouldn't go for it. No stability here. So sad. So your video on raids, good stuff. Lack of instruction how to play the raids, I'd say, is why easy raids are in staying. You shouldn't need a training code or a YouTube video to learn the raid. Yeah, I think that is a video topic on its own, to be honest, Winslow. I think, tell me one game mode where in Guild Wars 2 where there is a proper instruction. You know, it doesn't matter if you're raiding, if you're doing fractals, if you're doing PvP, if you're doing World vs. World. There is no instruction in Guild Wars 2. If you want to get better at the game, you either go the really hard way and try it yourself and try to get better yourself and learn and understand everything on your own, or you go into a third-party website like YouTube, Twitch and stuff and watch other people's content and understand how it works. It's like impossible in Guild Wars 2 to get better at the game if you are just playing the game for fun. It's like nothing explains you how to actually do that. That's really insane. This is like for raiding in particular, crazy, but for all game modes, it's actually still true. It's crazy. Yeah, I would say personally, I think Exordium is probably a really good pick. I like the Scepter as well. Heavenfire. Those two I would probably... I have a tier list. Maybe you should watch the tier list if you want to have my opinion there about which is the best, the nicest looking legendary. Welcome, Elena. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god, guys, can't you wait for the ready check? What is going on with these people? It's so hard to wait for the ready check. Nice, we cheat at least. It's good. What would you recommend me as a class for fun and performance in PvP? I mean, it depends. Fun is always very subjective, you know. What is the most fun to you? I don't know, yeah. So I personally would say go for the one that you enjoy the most because all of them are playable. I would say right now the best specs are Spectre, Soul Beast, and Harbinger. Those three are really good right now in PvP, especially in rank. Flames of War is out, exactly. That's good. Then everything is fine. Then everything is fine. No, I will actually. I'm not joking. At some point I will craft Flames of War as well. I'm having like all the legendaries almost from all sets, and this is like my goal. And I will at some point also go for Flames of War. I will of course never equip it, but I will just get the skin at some point. I'm missing a few. I think I'm missing like 5 or 10 or something like that. And then I'm done. Nice, we have stability. It's running out now. Yeah, and I think the problem with those missing instructions is also like people expect, so to say, either the players to actually don't know anything in open world. You know, that's the game. How typically you say the open world stuff is so easy, you don't need to know anything. But as soon as you go into raids, into fractals, into structured PvP, you have to understand a bit to actually get better or to actually get the kills and stuff or something like that. And this is like the step up from open world where nothing is important to the instance content, for example, is so high that a lot of people just never do it or can't really complete stuff if they are not like with crazy good people that carry them. That's the sad part, yeah. This is like, this cursor is an add-on from Blizzard. Blizzard is a third-party legal thing to actually install, and it's the mouse cursor add-on, yes. No, this is not a fractal, this is a strike mission or multiple ones that we are doing. So it's a 10-person content that we will do after one another, so five different ones, or even more, 6 after that. And this is just like a single boss encounter raid, yeah. And after we are done with this, I will do some fractals, and you can see them there, yes. No stub is no fun. Yeah, I mean, it's like you have to really look at the bar. If you notice it, you can actually dodge and it will be fine. But if you get CC'd, it feels really bad if you don't have stability. Yeah, I think Exordium is a really nice weapon. I think in general, all weapons would be amazing if you could dye them. But they never implemented in Guild Wars 2, and I think that's an engine issue, or I don't know. But at least, you know, Exordium, really cool weapon. It doesn't fit every character, I would say, from just how it looks. But it feels really, really cool to play. I like it a lot. I mean, at this point, you know, I have all the legendary skins, but legendary greatsword skins. But I would say, to be honest, this is like very, very cool. And I think it might be even my favorite right now. I think Eternity I've used so much that I think right now, it's still a very nice skin. I don't know. They are really close. I think the greatsword have really cool skins. Also, something that puts me a bit off of Exordium is not that easy to match up with different fashions. Exactly, it's not fitting every character. I think Eternity is actually somewhat easier to fit because it switches between night and dark, and it's somewhat like a Necromancer, Guardian, Warrior. All of them can actually use it quite easily, I would say. Dodging is a DPS loss. Yeah, that's actually true. If you don't have, that's why I feel always so bad if I have no stability, because I actually lose DPS because my support is actually not doing correctly. So that's like, ooh, that feels really bad. But what can you do, you know? I mean, better not getting CC'd for 3 seconds than, let's say, greeting for DPS and, let's say, then getting CC'd, yeah? So. Which is best overall between Enchi and Ellie? I would say Elementalist is better right now overall. If you play every single game mode, that's PvP and World versus World as well. If you're going for PvE only, then I would actually say Engineer might be better. Engineer in PvE is like really, really good, but in competitive modes, especially PvP, it falls off quite bad. So I would say it's really like in PvP, typically don't play Engineer right now. It's not like it's unplayable or anything. It's just way weaker than all the other classes, I would say, on average. Yeah. And in PvP, in PvE, I think all the specs are really good. And I would say if you only play PvE, go for Engineer. If you're playing all the game modes, I would go for Elementalist. I mean, I try my best to actually give guides on my YouTube channel. So if you're looking for a specific thing, you can check out my YouTube channel. Of course, you can always ask me on stream. You can join our Discord server. You can also ask there, and I will have to answer very happily. But it's a big game, you know. You have to learn at some point the stuff. You can't expect everything to be easy to learn in the first day. You know, that's just not possible. It's just too big the game for that. But you will get there. You will get there. It's just a problem that the game itself does not teach it that well. It's just you have to have people that actually tell you how to do it. I always like to play this, you know, 3rd DPS here, even though I'm quick DPS, it's really good. Good build. Do you have an all-time favorite profession in Guild Wars 2? I think for me, right now it's Mesmer, just because it's very good and very unique. But I switch all the classes. You know, I have 70 characters, so I play all the classes and all elite specs. So it's like really, I don't have a favorite in all time, I would say, because I switch all the time. Yeah. Are we doing Dragonstorm as well? Let's check. Oh, I don't know. We will see. Dragon Hunter hits really hard. That's true. It does. It does. Commando. Yeah, I personally think I'd never played Guild Wars 1 actually. I'm just not, let's say, I wasn't there when it was the prime time of Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 1 rather. And in Guild Wars 2, I would say just from the class fantasy itself, I really think Mesmer is very unique. That's why I like it so much. But for a lot of other classes, I actually still enjoy playing them. You know, I'm not a classic role player or anything, so I play the class that is strong and fun to play. I don't really care if it's like fitting the assassin spec that well, you know. I think Spectre doesn't fit the assassin playstyle, and I still enjoy it very much. It's like, I'm not a big, so to say, yeah, role-playing player. I just play what is strong, and if it's strong and fun to play, I play it all the time. And that's why I play currently Chronomancer all the time, especially in Fractals. It's just so good. You know, yesterday I had a even 100 CM run on Fractals, and it was like so easy because I was the healer and we had one good DPS, which is enough to actually kill everything. And we were actually smooth running through everything. It was insane. Like even 100 CM was like matter of minutes. It was crazy. If you have a good group, even in packs, it's really easy, especially if you're the broken healer. Oh, come on. But other than that, I would say I play classes that are fun and to me that are fast-paced. I don't like boring classes. I want to have some challenge in there as well. But that's just me as a veteran. Yeah. If you had to choose between only strikes or only fractals, what would you choose? It depends, sadly. You know, so the thing is, if I would get like Iceblood Saga strike missions that are fast-paced, easy to do, easy to get into, and a lot of them, I would do actually strikes. But if I would do overall all strike missions like Dacta as well, like the EOD strike missions that I can only do once a week, then I would actually really say fractals way more. I think fractals overall would be my answer. Good, that's what you get if you don't have any stability. Yeah, so I would say fractals overall would be my answer, but I would say with an asterisk, if fractals are like Lonely Tower and Silent Surf all the time, then I would say not fractals. Yeah? Hope that makes sense. They murdered Mesmer in Guild Wars 2 as a Guild Wars 1 player. It doesn't have so much to do with the predecessor. I don't actually know how it was in Guild Wars 1, so I can't judge there. I just think in Guild Wars 1, in Guild Wars 2 rather, I think it's actually quite fun. I like it a lot, the class design and how it feels. A lot of instant cast stuff, that's always what I like. You know, I like fast-paced games, fast-paced playstyle. So this is my class in that sense from a design perspective. Sorry, I saw it too late. Sorry, Snowdrop. My Virtuoso fully unlocked, but I want to get Chronomancer and heal Fractals because I think it might be more new player friendly. So what I would say is that Fractals in general, you can start out as any build, but as soon as you want to clear CMs and want to get groups very fast in most situations, get it going for the heal support is actually the best way because you get your groups like in seconds. Yeah? Whereas if you're queuing as a DPS, like in most other games, it takes a little bit longer. Especially if you're going for CMs. So challenge mods as well. This is like insane playing without stability here. It's like, ooh. Yes, exactly. Iceblood Saga ones have daily rewards. That's why I do them every single day, because I like them. They are fast-paced, they give daily rewards, whereas the Soto ones and the DOD ones just give you weekly rewards. Yes, there is a tiny amount of profit crystals, or how they are called, which you get if you do it every day, but it's like 10 silver or something, you know? So you would do something that takes 5 minutes, get 10 silver or something for that. That's not even close to worth it. If you do it like the Iceblood Saga strike missions, it gives you like 10 to 15 gold for like 15 minutes. It's really, really good. So the Iceblood Saga ones are really fun, really fast, really good gold per hour, whereas the EOD strike missions and the Soto ones are like good once per week, you know, once per week. More than that, you don't get any value from them. Which is sad, you know. I think that's the same for raids. I think there should be some reward for completing them. Just if you want to farm content over and over, why not give them? Yeah, but that's just my take. Yeah, I heard that it was more like a control player, playstyle. I'm fire, okay. But I think in Guild Wars 2, I mean, you could still make this argument for saying this is a control type of playstyle, but I think you are probably right that if you have clones and stuff, it's more feeling like a bursty shatter stuff, whereas in Guild Wars 1 probably it was not using clones to that extent and was more using something like hexes and stuff. I have some information on that at least, but yeah, I'm not a Guild Wars 1 player, so I don't know how it was back then, but I feel like in Guild Wars 2 you can make the argument that Mesmer can be played as some kind of control playstyle as well. But I guess you're right, of course, yeah. Yeah, Mesmer is really, really good. Bund DPS Chronomancer currently can just swap one trait for alacrity or quickness. Yes, while other professions... I think this is not very OP by itself, to be honest. This is a really cool thing to do, but it's not in that sense OP. It's OP for the player, in that sense that you can learn one rotation, one build, one gear, and you can fill both roles very easily. That's the same for Heal Chronomancer, yeah. But it's not OP in the build itself, because the build can be, let's say the DPS is, let's say, maybe worse than a Quickness Catalyst, for example. So you would, if you want to go for high DPS, go for Quickness Catalyst instead and stuff like that. So I would say Boon DPS Chronomancer in particular, I think is completely fine. I'm just saying that the Heal Chronomancer is broken because it provides so many boons. You will see that in a second when I go into Fractals. It's absolutely insane what it can do. This is the thing why I say it's absolutely broken. But I think the swapping of the traits, personally, I think is okay. It's a unique gimmick to Mesmer or to Chronomancer in particular, so I think that's okay. The problem is, I think it would be really cool if you give me a list of skins or stuff that you get achievements with, and you want to get a video about it and explain it. That would be amazing. But for example, for me, I don't know what people actually find hard to find, you know. It's really hard for me as a veteran to see what other people find hard to actually understand, which skins are cool to get and so to say a little bit hidden. Stuff like that is really hard for me as a veteran, because I might have gotten the skin 5 years ago. I can't remember how to get it and if it was hard for me or not. So it's like, if you tell me this skin on this skin and this skin is hard to get, please make a video about it so that the other people know about it. That would be amazing. But for me, it's really hard to judge what is actually hard to get and what not, because I have like almost all of them and I can't remember where all of them came from and if I found it hard. Hope that makes sense. This is a pack run, yes. I think Snowdrop actually, I think they will never nerf it. I think at this point, Heal Chronomancer, I think is the new baseline. I think that's why how all the other supports should be, in their opinion, be judged on. I'm not joking here. I think that's how they try to actually make it happen. I play Heal Druid a lot, so that's Alacrity. I would be happy to be able to just swap one trait, so I can choose between Alacrity or Quickness. Yeah, I mean, it's very convenient for the player, but it's not broken by design. That's the difference here. It's really convenient. That's really the word that you need to describe it. But if you want to play, for example, a quickness healer, you can go easily for Firebrand or just learn Chronomancer, I would say. Chronomancer is really, really good. So there's no reason not to learn it if you want to, if you have the options and time for that. I mean, it's not even about hard or not. To me, all open worlds gathering skins are easy. Yes, that of course, but it's like you have to, if you just tell me the name of a skin that you might be interested in and you don't know how to get it, I can make a video about this and it would be interesting to people as well. It's just really hard for me to judge what is this kind of video, because, for example, if I would make a video which like I found hard and then like 10 people agree and watch this video and that's about it, then I would be sad, you know. It should be something that actually people really also want to get as well. So I guess legendary skins could be that. Something like that, I guess. Classic Mesmer could AoE hex enemies, and every time they use a skill, they get interrupted all around them. That's why they got confusion in Guild Wars 2. I mean, that sounds really cool. One of my all-time favorite traits in Guild Wars 2 that they sadly removed before they added Mirage, I think, was Mistrust. Yeah, Mistrust was a skill, or trait rather, on Mesmer that was so good. It's so good. It's like the Akim relic. Whenever you interrupted an enemy, you would apply confusion and AoE around them. Something like that. And this didn't have a cooldown back then in the early days. It was insane. You could actually burst 5 people down because you interrupted one guy consistently. It's so fun, the design. It's very, very toxic, but it's really fun. So I can see why this would be a playstyle I would enjoy in Guild Wars 1 as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think Guild Wars 1 is like where Guild Wars 2 is headed with the balance. Like that there's so much OP stuff going around. I think that's where Guild Wars 2 is headed as well. Yeah. So Snowdrop, if you wanted, we can do the fractals now if you're up for it. I think it would be a great video on overflow trading. That's actually a good point. Overflow is like really cool, but the thing is, overflow is only helpful if you have big ticket items or trade a lot. You know, if you're a player that just sells their casual stuff, like just a stack of Ectos or something, I would not do that. You know, if you are really let's say a really tryhard player selling legendaries and that kind of stuff, yes, then it's very worthwhile. But don't forget, it's like really for people that are trading a lot or trading high big ticket items. If you're just selling like me, just some random stuff that is just worth under 1 gold and you don't do it every day, it's not worth it. But of course, getting 90% value instead of 85% value is insane. Yeah, good point. But yeah, I think the thing is Overflow is actually really, really streamlined. You know, go to their Discord and they have a guide how to set it up, how to, so to say, get this role system going so that you can actually understand how to get a better, so to say, that you are more trustworthy and that kind of stuff. And if you do some small trades and you get higher trustworthiness, then it's actually completely fine to trade with people there all the time, and you actually can sell infusions there as well and you will not be scammed. So when you wanna feel useless, you pick Elementalist there, only playing Bonda is your job in the endgame in PvE. Interesting. Yeah, I actually don't know what exactly you're talking about, so I can't give you any feedback there. Wait, without the T4s are great today. Do you not want to do the T4s today? Also, new players probably won't be using. Yeah, by the time you have enough gold to use it, then you're experienced enough to figure shit out on your own. Yeah, I actually think it's fine. Don't worry, Snowdrop. Glad that you joined. I think the Overflow trading Discord is really, really good. But making a guide about it is like telling people that are already at the Golem benchmarking that you can use the Golem to benchmark. That I think it's really cool if you get new people to actually understand how it works. But I can really follow Winslow's argument here, where I would say it's like not necessary to tell a really high gold account value player to actually how to do it, because it's like either they use it already or they're not interested in using it at all. So that's probably the argument here. In Guild Wars 2, in hard modes of content, monster got increased in elemental resistance, so all elemental elements hit like a wet noodle besides air, always 25% armor penetration. Interesting. Something like that doesn't exist in Guild Wars 2 at all. Nothing like resistances, or that's really interesting that they never went with that. What's your opinion on KP requirements being a thing for CMs, and even some groups are requiring KP for non-CM versions of fractal rates? I think it's not good that we need that, but I think I can totally understand why we use it to actually get decent amount of knowledge in the group. Yeah. So I would say it's not good, but I would say it's the only option we have. If we had an in-game system that would actually tell us how to do it, how experienced the player is, that would be way better. But what can you do? You know, the players are always looking for the thing that actually gives them the most amount of smoothness in their run, if that makes sense. So if you can't get that any other way, then people will use KP. I'm not happy that we use that, because it's not really a thing that tells you how good a player is, but it's better than not knowing at all anything about the player. So I would say it has a lot of problems, but not having it would probably be even worse. That's my experience. That's my take on that. So my bags, I'm always like, I'm either trying to keep them clean or I'm selling my stuff directly. Yeah, that's how I typically want to manage my bags. So I might just do in the future, if you're interested in it, some kind of bag managing tutorial where I showcase this in a crazy filled up character. Maybe we can do that. Let me know. But I think that's just knowledge about the game. At some point you can do that as well if you're like, if you want to manage your bags efficiently. Of course, there are some people, even veterans, that don't want to do that. Then your bags look like shit all the time. But what I'm Alacrity. Okay, almost forgot. That's the part why Chronomancer is so hard. You know, you have to switch your traits and you always have to double check if you're actually the right role. That's like the hardest part about Chronomancer right now. I'm not joking. Yeah, I couldn't give full quickness, but it's okay. I find it silly that the game was released as a casual MMO and then you need something like that. Yeah, I can totally understand why you would criticize it for that. I totally can. I'm just saying, if you create content that is a little bit harder and people want to get it done, then you need some way to actually get people in there that actually know what they're doing. You know, I can totally understand why you criticize it for it. I can totally understand that. But if you add something like that, I think there should be some kind of feature to tell if a person is actually experienced enough to kill this boss or has never done it and joins your group just to let's say, get carried and leeches it. Yeah, that might be some kind of, yeah, hot take there, but I really think that it's important for new players to learn the content and not get carried through all this stuff. If they want to get a boss kill, then they should just easily learn it. Guild Wars 2 is not hard at all if you're in PvE for the most part. So if you find a group that does a training and stuff, you can get boss kill easily. Just don't join a group with false pretense, you know, telling them you are really experienced, whereas you are never done the boss. Yeah. So I think this is like, the KP system helps a bit with that, because someone that has like 50k KP is quite likely to actually have done the boss already. Yeah, at least a few times. Hope that makes sense. But this is, like I said, I think it's not an ideal way, not even close. But what can you do? That's the sad part. How can we players change that? Not really. If you want to find someone that is of a similar experience level, this is just the easiest way to do so. Yeah, kill proofs are weird in Guild Wars 2, that much is for sure. Any word on getting into ANET partner program? No. Sadly not. I'm really sad about it, because like I really push out a lot of content. I try my best, you know, especially on YouTube, but also on Twitch. And oh my god, is there another one? I think there is. have to do this? No, that's not good. Yeah, that's not what you want to see. That's not what we want to see. Oh, I got teleported back. That's why I don't like to be targeted here by the thing here as the healer. Not good, but what can you do? So classically you don't want to have that here like I just did. But okay. Yeah, no word from the partner program. I really hope it works this time, but I actually fear that they are not taking any more new partners. I hope they do, but at least they did not reply to my 3 times I tried it before. So I think next month or something like that I will try it again. And hopefully then the 4th time is the charm, I don't know. The most people on EU ask for 30 to 50 KP, which we will get by killing 5 to 10 bosses. For raids, that's true, but for fractals, it's like always increasing. So fractals, I think, is way harder to get into as a new player, because fractals is like, if you want to get a decent group, then people are asking for 30k KP, yeah, or something like that. It's insane. It's just, yes, you can easily do the fractals after doing it in once or something like that. But people are crazy on the trading, on the thing. For fractals, it's completely screwed. For raids, I think it's completely fine. If you're asking for like 10 kills on a boss, I think that's fair. You know, that's I would say easily enough to achieve for a new player. But as a fractal player, you want to get into fractal CMs, which are not that hard to get, let's say, done, because they are not that hard. But if you can't find people to play with, then it's hard. You know, the hardest part about getting into fractal CMs is finding a group. I'm not joking. It's insane. It's so sad because the content is really fun. I do it almost every day because they are so fun. I like them a lot. But what can you do? You know, you can't force the group to actually just randomly spawn, you know, if they don't take you because you don't have enough KP. I mean, that's their choice, but you can't change this, sadly. You can ask them nicely if they are actually wanting to try it with you as well. That works in some groups, but you can't bet on it. Usually people get kicked for not reading the LFG, joining as DPS when group isn't looking for it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. If we can't read the LFG, then you are quite likely to also fail on other mechanics as well. You know, if you can't even read the LFG, or if you're ignoring it, it's even worse, I would say. So, I mean, just, yeah, I can get that. I think it's a very drastic way of handling it, but I can understand people that do that. Yeah, I mean, it's fair. So 50 KP are specific to a specific boss. Like 50 KP of this Mina are like 10 kills on this Mina. But some people ask for 250 LI, which is like 250 kills over all bosses on raids, which is way easier to get, obviously, than 50 KP than on this Mina, because that means 10 weeks of this Mina at least. Whereas, for example, if your 250 LI is actually somewhat decently easy to get, you could do that by doing escort every single week for 250 weeks. Could be. Okay, swapping back to CC. I used to pack CMs on fractals as Celestial Heal Vibrant, and sometimes I'd get into groups when 3DTS are doing less damage than me. It's just crazy. Yeah, pugging is like, it's chaotic. I can tell you that much. It's, if you go to higher CM groups, you will be better off for a lot of people. And a lot of times, but not guaranteed, you know. I did a 10k group, which is, you know, supposedly a few kills, you know. And there was still someone dying to every single mechanic on every single fight. So I can't guarantee that we actually succeed. That's and that we get really good players here. That's just the sad truth here. Okay, we go for the CC. You know, I think the DPS here is good enough. I hope so. Yeah, looks good. We have a quite nice Spectre, which is always good to see. Conny Spectre and CMs that knows what they are doing. That's what we want. Yeah, nice. The DPS looks good. I like it. In 250 weeks, there will be a Guild Wars 4 teaser. Yeah, I mean, could be. Someone portaling or should I portal? No, someone is. Very good. Yeah, I think this is 250 weeks of escorts. That's like, yeah, you will probably be already in another game, but still. I think you could make the argument for people say that. I was just saying 50 KP of like a specific raid boss is nowadays quite reasonable to ask for. If you ask any more than that, I think it doesn't provide any more value. But if you're going for anything that is like below 50, I think that makes sense. Yeah, glad that you appreciate my work, Filthy. I'm trying my best. I mean, it's a lot of fun. So it's not only work for me. It's fun to do that. It's just I hope that ArenaNet recognizes this. You know, for me, it's like it would be really cool if I could also easily hop on NA to actually play with you NA players as well, or just spectate the monthly ATs, for example. Stuff like that would be amazing. Yeah. But if ANET doesn't recognize me in that sense, then what can I do? Yes, we have 2 portals. I don't have to do it. Yeah, thanks with your help, Filthy. A lot of players skipping the classic ABC. Always be casting. Yeah, in Guild Wars 2, the problem is, I think it would be always be casting and ABCM, you know? That's how it would be in Guild Wars 2. Always be casting and moving, you know? So you want to be moving as well. Because people in Guild Wars 2 might be casting all the time, but if you not move while you do so, you're an easy target, especially in competitive modes, but also in PvE. You always have to be moving, you know? That's why I strafe so much, you know? I'm always doing this, even though it's like absolutely unnecessary. I'm always want to move just to be sure that we actually do the mechanics, that we can do all the stuff that we need to do. Stuff like that is actually, it's really important that you move in Guild Wars 2, because you can do so while casting stuff. So you don't have to stand still while casting, because that would just make you easier to target, easier to get hit by all the attacks that bosses throw at you. So always be casting and moving. Yeah. Welcome, party. Welcome, welcome. Hope you all had a nice day and are now just having fun with me on stream. If you have any questions, any feedback, let me know. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel. I normally don't mention it enough, but my YouTube channel is like, I have some crazy debates coming up, and I really want to have some more interest in those videos as well, and some really cool comments. So please join there as the more, let's say, sane community of Guild Wars 2. Whereas I have some videos and I really feel like a lot of people under the videos and the comments are really insane and really unhinged. So please be there and try to make it a little bit more sane. I really, really hope that you will watch my debate videos as well. Because I really don't know what people in the comments are thinking all the time, but some people are like absolutely unhinged on their takes. It's actually insane. You need to start making less OP build videos to be considered a net partner. I guess they don't want to have people that actually use the meta builds all the time. They want to have some more, you know, the casual audience should be covered as well. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, it's definitely not a shame to equip a ranged weapon. I think that's actually quite important. If you can swap your weapons to the situation, adjust it to the situation, that's amazing. It's a really good thing. Should I go for the CC here? I think we will be fine. I don't need the Moa here. Because we have enough DPS that I will not have my Moa up for the second round, and I really, really want to be sure that we get the second round as CC as well. So I saved it here for that matter. I will not CC here. Because she goes back in the middle anyway. Now we get the double CC. I have my Moa up and my Continuum split, so it will be really, really good. Let's see how much DPS CC I do. Yeah, that's a lot of CC. That's just Chronomance in a nutshell. Continuous split, waiting for the CC. It's really good. I find it hard to know if I'm casting fast enough, especially when I had to switch to grenades, for example, on Engineer. I think if you always try your best and cast as fast as you can, you will be good. Yeah. But if you feel like you are casting attack, then you wait for a bit and then you cast another attack, then you are too slow. It's always like you can even queue up stuff, so you can cast stuff and cast stuff directly after that if you press it while you're casting stuff. Just be aware that, for example, the healing skill will interrupt the queue. Yeah. Yeah, I'm always this is like a very old school thing that I do, this strafing and wiggling my character, which is like a thing from way back when. I don't know if you remember that, if you were even playing Guild Wars 2 back then, but there was a food, I mean it's still there, the food, seaweed salad, yeah, I think something like that it was called, and it was giving you 10% damage increase while you were moving. Which is obviously absolutely insane. Just 10% flat on your damage as a food is insane. It's crazy. So this was like the absolute top meta pick as a food for almost any build that played power. And that's just, you know, that's just a leftover. And I find it funny that I still do that. You know, that I still move around just for whatever reason, to make sure that I get all the buffs, even though I don't get the buff anymore. Because they nerfed it now at like 3% or something. Okay, someone portal. Yeah, that might be true, of course, Filthy. But it's way more fun, you know, in my opinion, to create content for Guild Wars 2. And at the moment I'm doing both, so don't worry about it, you know. I can do both at this point at least. Is there any longbow build except Condivore and DH? I mean, for PvE, I would say no, not really. Longbow on Ranger is just not that good, and that's all the classes that can use Longbow. It's like only 3. So, yeah, I would say Longbow is in a bad spot. Oh, I don't have the wound strip. Nice, you have it. Very good. For open world, you can play Longbow Untamed. Yeah, you can do that, but it will not be the highest DPS. That's the sad part. Longbow really needs some buff on Ranger. I think it's the very iconic, just how you would play a Ranger with a longbow, but sadly it's not like the most common thing that is useful, because it's like really, it has some good burst, but that's about it, and that's not really good for PvE. And in competitive modes, longbow is actually quite decent, but it's only 3 classes that can use it, and if one class doesn't use it at all in PvE, one class only uses it as Condi, and the other class uses it only on Dragon Hunter, it feels a little bit like, yeah, they should buff this weapon. It's really sad. People really wanted to use the legendary longbows, and not getting to use them, it's a little bit sad. I'm in biophysics, biomedicine. Yeah. CC, nice. Isn't it okay on Celestial Berserker? Yeah, it's not only okay, it's really good there, but that's like the only build where I would say on Warrior you use it. In PvE, it's like the only one. Unless I'm blind, I'm loving your guides, by the way. Your only 2 Viva guides seem to be for World vs. World and PvP. Any for PvE open world soon? Yes, there will be. I will do a PvE guide very soon, probably in, let's say, 10 days or so. Yeah. I will wait. The problem right now is that I can't release that many build guides right now, because the balance patch will change them. So I can't showcase before the balance patch how they will be after the balance patch. So I can't really do a lot of build guides right now. But after the balance patch, there will be, my content will be consisting of build guides for the new specs, for the new buffs and stuff, and tier lists for the how general stuff is performing. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. No. This is CM. Yes, it is. I guess before they buff Longbow Arena, they will introduce a new elite spec or rework a skill tree to swapping between ranged and melee weapons for buff mechanic. It could be. I think Longbow is like really like completely untouched almost since the beginning of time on Ranger, so I'm not sure if they will ever rework it. But they did some weapon reworks, like for example Sword, they did quite a while ago, and even the Axe was somewhat buffed as well. So in general, I think they actually do some reworks, especially on Ranger, but I'm not sure if they will do the Longbow. I hope so, but I was actually expecting Weaver and Longbow reworks in this balance patch, but they didn't do it, so yeah, I guess maybe next time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to all my build guides as well. It's really fun to create all the new content and stuff. If you are, for example, going for, I don't know, just a lot of build guides, and if there is, at some point you reach a point where you did all the build guides already, or most of the good ones. And if a new balance patch comes up, I actually have stuff to do again, or stuff to talk about. So I'm really happy about that. It's more content for me than the content releases that we get with, for example, Chantier Wilds updates. So yes, you like the Bone Scanner? Yeah, I think the Bone Scanner one I actually put a lot of effort in. Sadly, not a lot of people watched it. I'm actually thinking about doing a new guide series for every encounter that I do regularly. Doing one video about every single encounter, like let's say Iceblood Saga strike missions, one doing the Fractal CMs, maybe even some raid bosses as well. Just doing videos about every single encounter that are up to date. Yeah, maybe people appreciate that. Let's see how fast I can make that work. I wonder how would Ranger Longbow be if it has 2 charges on Barrage. It would be very good in open world, I would say. I'm not sure if it would be really, really crazy good in PvE, in instance PvE, I mean. I think it would be fun. It would be a cool buff because that's like a very iconic skill. Maybe they should just give the 2 skill ammunition. That would be very fun for PvE at least. Give it ammunition, the 2 skill, because then the skill would be way more useful. Yeah, interesting. Interesting idea. What is the best mode to learn to play support in World vs. World, PvP, Open World, Fractals? I would start with Fractals and start with tier 4s and go into Iceblood Saga strike mission and that kind of stuff as well. And then you go into Fractal CMs and then you can easily go into World vs. World and PvP as well. It's like, yeah, PvP and World vs. World supports are way harder to do. That's just, there are more, you're fighting against actual players, so it's harder to actually be really good at it. But if you understand the basics of being a support firebrand, support whatever, you actually are fine, and you will learn that in PvE as well. Just saw your short about showing off all your legendaries, good stuff. Do you still remember the first one you got? Yes, the final one, the last one was just a week ago or something. No, yeah, something like that. I crafted, what did I craft actually? Ah, yes, I had crafted a Kutsu, which was like, even though I have already 2 bows, I crafted a 3rd bow just so that I have it, because it was in the legendary starter kit, so I did that for essentially free. I just needed to do a map completion, that's it. So that was the last one. The first one was actually Twilight, like I would say 50% of the community. Like Twilight is like the legendary that people get first. It's insane. So I did that back in like 2013 or something, or 2014, yeah, something like that. Just a little bit after I started playing Guild Wars 2. So yes, I can still remember that. I was farming dungeons back then. That was like the main gold farm, how I got my first legendary. Farming dungeons, yes. They could even create a weird relic, like doing X on non-bow weapons, refund some cooldown on bow skills. That would be really cool. I think we don't have any cool relics that interact with specific weapons. I think that would be really fun, because they have that for utility skills, you know, to buff the utility skills, like the protection on cantrip or meditations, yeah? So why not make that for weapons as well, to buff, for example, bows? That would be really cool. I would love that. Good idea. Great idea. I'm not sure if they want to do that because that makes them even more niche relics, but I feel like that's what relics are for. They are good in niche situations. Yeah, cool idea. Really cool. Maybe ANET should listen to you. I doubt it that they will, but you know, you never know. Sometimes they listen to people, you know. Exactly the thing with the staff to be ally targeted on Necromancer with the transfusion changes. Exactly, like 100% was predicted or recommended by a streamer, really good player, called Grimcheck. He said that, and they actually copied it 1-to-1, and now it's in the balance patch. So it can happen. Yeah. I wish they buffed Daredevil in open world. I love melee stuff. Yeah, I think Daredevil is actually quite good. The problem is it doesn't have any crazy self-buffing capabilities, so that's the problem with Daredevil. That Daredevil is like really good in group content where you get the buffs. People really underestimate how good this one is. But in open world, as a solo build and stuff, where you can't rely on getting wounds from allies, it's not that good. You lose a lot of just damage because you don't have any wounds. Mine was Incinerator, yeah. I mean, Incinerator is also one of my first ones. Yeah, good point, yeah. Bifrost, but Adamant was my first legendary. Nice, yeah. I mean, I don't remember what I did after that because I was like really going hard then. You know, I have like over 100 legendaries at this point. So I can't remember what was the order there. But I think it was like really, I was going, obviously back then there were no armor pieces, no rings, no backpacks. It was just weapons. So I was going for the ones that I used the most. I don't even remember what it was. Probably Bifrost or something as well for just the World versus World Staff Elementalist or something like that, I guess. Yeah, I think the relics in general, I think the newer relics, personally, the ones that came out with the last patch, they are really cool. I like the design of them. And they are really broken to some extent, but I like the design as well. So I would say if they continue with that road, I personally would say it would be amazing if we get something that changes weapons in that sense. You know, buffing weapons that are underused or making it more interesting. And really, it would be really niche. You could, for example, the longbow one, you could just straight up only use on 3 classes, which maybe even because of the build and how you play it, would even be like only useful on some specific build as well. So it could be very, very niche. But I guess that's what relics are for. So I think that would be amazing. I would like that a lot. Farming Citadel of Flames with 5 Berserker Warriors? Exactly. I mean, it was 4 Berserker Warriors as far as I know, and 1 Mesmer for the Reflex and the Pulse. I think that was the and we are back there, Snowdrop. We're back there. Yes, that was back then, I think, the way to go. At least that's how my group did it. Yeah. Also, do I really need to run dungeons for Superior Rune of the Monk? So the first part is, yes, you need to do it if you want to buy it from the dungeon vendor. If you don't want to get it, you can actually Mystic Forge runes and get runes out of that again. And if you're lucky, you get the Monk rune out of it. Or you can get the legendary runes. That's the most straightforward path to getting the Monk rune. Kappa, yeah. But I mean, you could do it, yeah. It's just like, you really have to go for the World versus World reward track and get some currency that way, maybe. You can do that. But I think dungeons are the way to go. That's the sad truth, yeah. I would say dungeons are actually quite easy to farm nowadays. You can do them really, really fast. And because of the currency changes, so every dungeon used to give a specific currency. Now all of them give the same currency. You can actually purchase it really, really fast. Just doing one dungeon tour, so to say, and you will be done. And get the runes there that way. Yeah, it was a very long time ago. A very long time. Come here. Come here. Come here. Nice. I pulled the more. Very good. Do you have a good way to say Guild Wars 2 to WoW players? I'd really like to get my friends into this game, but nobody wants to play it because of the horizontal progression. So I would say that, yes, it has horizontal progression, but if you can make it, so to say, sell it in a way that people want to engage with the so to say, grinding of Guild Wars 2. So if you want to get all legendary, if you want to get all the achievements, all that stuff, if you like sandbox games where you can say, this is my goal, getting all the skins in the game, it's like insane. You have so much content to do, you have so much stuff to grind, you have so much fun while enjoying the combat in Guild Wars 2. So I would say always putting the combat first. I think WoW combat is not bad, but I think Guild Wars 2 combat is really, really good. So if you want to sell it, I think always say the combat is amazing. And if you don't like the horizontal progression, setting yourself your own goals, going full legendary, that takes a long while. I think if you can sell that in a way that people are interested, you know your friends better than me, of course, so selling it to them in their specific way would be really, I would say, a good story, I think. When you want to unlock armor skins, you can just buy the Ascalon ones and extract the rune from it. Good point, good point. That's also possible if you have an extractor for that. Or you can just salvage it and you will get the skin if you salvage it with the, how is it called? The Blackline salvage kits that you can get from the Wizard's Vault. You guarantee the rune on there, and that means that you actually get the rune, get the skin as well by salvaging it. So that can work as well. Yeah, glad I could help. So let's do some pre-buffing here again. Let's go. Nice, very good, very clean. I like it with the H's. That's a lot of damage then. Nice. Guild Wars 2 is a legit 8 out of 10 MP game, but the achievements really get to me. Hate this part of progression. I personally don't like achievement hunting as well. I'm actually, it sounds weird coming from someone that has like over 40k HP, AP rather, but I don't like achievement hunting in Guild Wars 2 for the most part because there are so annoying ones in there that I just don't want to engage with, you know? So for me, it's like going all in or not going in at all. And that's the thing why I don't go for achievement hunting, because there are some of them that I know I don't want to get. It's just very annoying. So personally, for me, achievement hunting in Guild Wars 2 is not something that I like that much, but it's something that can really give you like decades of playing Guild Wars 2 because it's quite hard to get all of these achievements. Yeah. People can't wait for my pre-stake. That's okay. How long will you be streaming today? So I will be streaming for, I think, another 1.5 hours, something like that. And I'm glad you're learning something. I try to be entertaining while also being somewhat educational. So I hope I succeed there. Yeah. Yeah, 1.5 hours more, something like that. But I made a video recently about dungeons, and it's not only about dungeons giving you the rune and stuff. That's a good thing. But you can also farm dungeons very, very lucratively for gold. So if you farm dungeons fast enough, you can actually get 70 gold per hour. I'm not joking. It's really, really good. And you can do that very consistently as well. But it needs a dedicated group. You need really, I would say, at least 3 people that know exactly what they are doing. Yeah. But if you can do that, it's really fun. I would say it's if you like this dungeon experience, it's amazing. It's not for everyone, I get that, but if you want to do it and if you like it, then you get actually rewarded for it as well. So that's the cool part. Yeah, you can actually, not only some paths, most of them actually can be done really fast, especially if you know the, so to say, tips and tricks of the trade, so to say, of this specific path that we are talking about. You can actually merge them, you can actually do it really fast without even merging them, just because it's so power grabbed and you can skip a lot of stuff in dungeons. It's really, really crazy. So, like I said, full dungeon tour in 45 to 50 minutes, that's possible. Yeah, it's really, really good. Yeah, that's the problem. If you need some, I mean, there is I can link it if you're interested. I am a Discord server from, you have to join this Discord server to do it fast. That's really, they are really like a dedicated dungeon farming community where it's like almost all of them are really try hard into dungeons. So it's really like you have to find groups outside of the game. You can't really find a group in game because there's just not enough people looking for dungeon groups. Yeah, that's correct. You need to actually try and find a Discord group, find a guild and stuff like that. Yes, of course. It's just not that active, the community for that. But it's fine, you know, I think that's Guild Wars 2 can be easily played as a solo game, but I feel like the most fun in the game you have if you can just talk to other people, have fun with the community. And if you find someone or multiple people that you can do dungeons with, fractals with, raids with, whatever, PvP with, world versus world, it's, in my opinion, you find a community and you will be way more, let's say, long-term committed to the game. I'm not joking here. I will do a portal. So just running ahead here, doing the portal, while my DPS players clear the room. Now we have 3 scrappers. It gets always higher. It gets higher and higher. I mean, don't worry if you're not a good Guild Wars 2 player, and by any means, it doesn't really matter. You just play the game, have fun, and find people that you are willing to play with that can teach you something about dungeons, whatever, and you will be good. You will be good to go. Yeah, I mean, I would say keep playing with a MMO mouse helps a lot in Guild Wars 2, for me at least, because you can easily bind all your keybinds. But Guild Wars 2 doesn't have like an insane amount of keybinds. So for example, if you play World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, you have probably way more attacks to bind to your mouse and stuff, or to your keyboard. So I think you can easily use, for example, if you're using WASD to walk, you can use Q, E, R, X, something like that to actually get it to work as well. But I can see why the MMO mouse is definitely something that helps, for sure. And I don't want to live without it, of course, as a player that is already quite accustomed to it, for sure. I think Volcanic is probably one of my favorite normal mode fractals, I have to be honest. I don't know why, it just feels so, I don't know, feels really like a classic fractal and a lot of fun. You know, the encounters, the fights are unique. I like it. Yeah, as always, if you have any questions, let me know. And by the way, thanks for all the follows, really appreciate it. Sorry that I couldn't call your names. It's good to have at least a mouse with 2 side buttons. Yeah, that's true. That's my personal advice for everyone, because you can put modifiers on it. Yes, that's obviously really, really helpful. If you have modifiers that you can put on your just 1 or 2 additional mouse buttons, it's actually helping a lot. Good point there, good point. But I would say the more mouse buttons you have, the better, of course, because then you can bind even more stuff to it. But yeah, it's not necessary at all. I think Guild Wars 2 can be played without any MMO mouse. I think you will be fine. It's just a little bit harder with how to manage your keybinds. I think this is like the gist of it. It's a little bit of a struggle to heal all the time here, but it's okay. It's okay. Take feedback here and the pull to actually deal with the elementals here. And there we go. Need to keep a little bit of a close eye on my allies here because they can tick down very hard, especially the Harbinger, because they lose health, maximum health with their Blight. So that can be quite dangerous for me to heal them at a time. But we did it. Very good. So let me hydrate for a second. My secret tactic is to rebind caps lock to something else so I can use it as a button or a skill. Ooh, that's nice. I mean, you have control, you have caps lock, and you have shift. So you have 3, and you also have alt. I think those could be, all 4 of those could be easily used. But yes, I mean, at this point, I think you have enough as alternative mouse buttons, I would say, or as alternative keybinds. Yeah, I think that's reasonable enough. You don't need that many for Guild Wars 2. I think like if you have 20 keybinds or something, that's good enough. You need like 5 plus 5 plus a few F skills maybe, and maybe some kind of alteration of those, but that's about it. I think Guild Wars 2 is in that sense a little bit easier to get into than like the classical MMOs where you have like 3 bars of hotbars with like 10 skills each that you all can use in a single boss encounter. In Guild Wars 2 that's not the case. You are locked behind your weapon skills and utility skills for the fight. Yes, you might have like 20 or even more, 30 more to use, but you can't use all of them at the same time. So I think that makes Guild Wars 2 a little bit easier to get into, at least at end game, on how many skills you have to use. I currently did it the other way around. I remapped like 2 side buttons to 4-5 and to 3-4. Yeah, I think the most important part is that you should find a setup for you that works, like that has all the keys mapped to something, yeah, that you use regularly. You should use that really, and then you should stick to it. That's the important part, that you find a setup that works for you, and then you stick to it, because it's really important. Whenever you try a new setup, you will be worse at the game for a bit. Yeah, just straight up worse, because you will actually not be accustomed to it yet. Yeah, so there will be a time where you will be worse with the new setup. And if you change the setup every single time after you feel like you're worse, you will never get really good at it again. So keep that in mind. So it's always like you should play the game with one setup and try to find a way to actually, oh my god, you did get the reflect. No. Yeah, so it's really important that you stick to your setup. That's my big tip there. Find one that suits your playstyle, that you like the setup of, and then after that you stick to it. Really, that's the most important part, I would say, because I can't tell you where exactly on my mouse the keybinds are. I just use them. You know, it's really weird. It's like it's so in my brain engraved how I use it that I have to think about really hard which button I use. It's more like it's muscle memory at this point. Yeah. Do you think it's possible to make more tanky Untamed full Condi build? Mostly for World vs. World roaming and SPVP? I think yes, with Dagger you can make some really nasty tanky Condi Untamed. Yes, I think so. Maybe we will do that and make a build guide about this stuff after balance patch. Yeah, I will try to come up with something. Yeah, the alt key is not always... I would say the alt key would be my last choice as some kind of alternative button, because it's not really that close, for me at least, or it's easy to use. But maybe some people here in chat would disagree. I think this is, for me at least, the case, yeah. So we are done with daily fractals already, quite nice. Now we can then go and I can show you my crazy World vs. World cook that I wanted to show you. An absolutely insane roaming build. Yeah, weapon storing is again such a... for me personally, as a competitive mode player, weapon storing is a really important just keybind. It's not for everyone that important. If you play PvE, it might be not that important, but there are also some rotations where you use it all the time if you want to interrupt your attack because you don't know if you hit it, for example. Weapon storing is really, really good. But there are multiple keybinds like that that could be really helpful. Very good. Good group, I like it. Thanks, Snowdrop, for joining. If you have a gaming keyboard, remake your alt key to caps lock if it's more comfy. That could work. That's a good point. That could work. But then you don't have caps lock, so be careful with that, you know. But of course, it depends heavily on how your keyboard is set up, how big your hand is, or how to set it up. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, so I wanted to showcase my Mesmer build. So I hope you like it if I cook something. I don't care. I didn't even check. I'm just happy that we did it. Snowdrop, you know, that's how you do it. Just join a group, have fun. If you don't die. Oh my god, it died again. What's going on? Sorry, I will be back in a second. Maybe it's really something on my PC, but it just after the last update, it's really like maybe I have some kind of add-on that is like not updated, maybe something like that. Sorry guys, sorry. I have really weird keybinds. Basically, I have 2 buttons for every skill I use, both depending on situation I'm in. Probably more headache than advantage, but I take it simple and it can be complicated. Exactly, you know, that's my motto of life. You know, why make it easy if you can make it complicated? I think personally, having one setup that works for you is good enough. You know, it doesn't have to work for someone else. That's the important part. If it works for you, you're golden. That's really the only thing that matters. I'm kinda imprinted from playing MMOs to interrupt skills with just pressing move backwards, so my Guild Wars 2 weapon store to cancel channels is Shift S. Interesting. I think weapon storing in Guild Wars 2 is such an underrated feature. I think I have a settings guide on YouTube, and in the settings guide I talk like for a quarter of the video about how to use weapon store correctly. It's really like weapon storing is like insane value for all game modes, but especially for competitive modes. Like Guild Wars 2 is such a weird game where you can cast a skill, and especially, for example, Necromancer or an Engineer, where you can actually get the animation to play on Revenant, and you interrupt the stow with a stow, and you actually get the short cooldown of like 4 seconds or something, whereas the enemy might still dodge it because it actually saw the animation. It's so insane. It's really, really good. And even for PvE, it's really good, because if you see, for example, that a boss moves out of your target area where you wanted to cast it, where, for example, their attack is going in invulnerability phase or something like that, then you can just stow it and wait until the boss is actually targetable or in range again. It's really, it's so good. And also for some rotations, you can cancel the aftercast there. So it's actually, it's really crazy how good this is. Yeah. Yeah, it's also good to stow some movement skills so that you actually can get the fast attack going on. Yeah, it's really, really, really underrated. I agree. Yes, sword, exactly. On Harbinger, you can use that as well. It's really, really good. On Necromancer, on Reaper, yeah, it's actually insane how valuable that can be. Of course, it's not for everyone, because some people like to play the game very easy, don't use all the keys, and don't have to, let's say, think about it too much. But I would say if you want to improve at the game, it doesn't matter which game mode, and you're not using weapon store, that's one of the first points I would actually bind to my keyboard, so that I can actually get the weapon storing going on. Yeah, of course, I mean, I would never do that. Not sure, I would never do that, but of course, this is something you could do, of course. Or dancing on the enemy. Yeah, exactly. Nothing going on. I want to get some one-on-ones or some outnumbered situations and want to showcase this build. Yeah, you also would never do that. Who would, you know? Who would do that? Yeah. I mean, yesterday I did actually play this build here, and I was in World vs. World roaming, and I killed players consistently. They were always on respawn and fighting me again in a 1v2 all the time. Yeah, so I killed them in a 1v2. It was I think a Harbinger and a Tempest or something like that. I killed them consistently, and then they got help. They were like 4 people instead of 2 then, and then I couldn't fight them anymore. And then they killed me, and then they were dancing on my body. You know, this is just like deluxe. Yeah, I killed them twice in a 1v2, and after that they came with 4 people and killed me. And then they danced on my body, you know. I felt really good about that because I knew that they were really, not happy about it anymore. Calling the boys, exactly. Yeah, just to that's the only way to actually win the fight. Yeah, Livra, I actually like the tips here. I think that's with the keybinds, it's actually really cool. I did not think of all of the tips that you mentioned, so thanks for mentioning them. Exactly, assemble the Avengers. It was like really like, I would have been so, let's say, happy if I could have fled, you know? Just saw that 4 people came, killed one of them and then left. That would be amazing, but I couldn't do it because they were just too heavy on the power spike or something. But I know, I mean, if I can kill someone in outnumbered situation, I'm happy. And if they need help, I mean, that's just world versus world, I guess. But if they're dancing on my body, it's like really like, okay, they are like just trolling at this point because they are clearly not good players if you can't win and need 4 people to actually kill me, and then are toxic. That's the part that I don't like about that. But yeah, that's just world versus world. People are always like weird, I guess. Especially if the loser 1-on-1 or something. I try to be always happy and not, let's say, positive mental attitude and stuff. I don't want to be toxic. Even in PvP, when there's someone really bad, I don't want to be toxic or anything just because it doesn't help anybody. That's the problem. So I really, especially on stream, I really try to be like always positive, never flame anybody and stuff like that. And that should help me. Oh, he wants to go in. Okay. So, I mean, yeah, that wasn't that smart, I would say. Have 15 alt modifiers for like 15 years because of WoW. Exactly. I mean, that's what I meant. It's like if you play other MMOs, you're actually very accustomed to doing stuff like that. The only keybind you need in World vs. World is the Throw Siege keybind, if you know, you know. Exactly. It's like another step on top. Yeah. I can definitely see why people would have bound that. Sure. Yeah, I guess maybe they considered me some kind of raid world boss or something like that, and they are happy that I died. I guess that's fair then, yeah. Yeah, you know you've played well if they are salty. Yeah, good point. That's actually a good motto. I like it. I played like 20 hours as a free-to-play and didn't know what elite specs were. Much better. Also couldn't Mogler, but it was fun. Reaper of Unions and World vs. World. Yeah, I think World vs. World is a game mode. That's the cool part about it. Yes, you might be outskilled by enemies, but it's so easy to get into, and it's not really like it matters if you die. You know, it's like, yeah, you respawn and you will be good. You know, just come back. So I would say World vs. World is the perfect casual PvP game mode. It's really, really good, especially with Zergs going on. It's really, really good. You just have fun, get into it, and you will get some stuff done. That's really good, especially as a free-to-play player, because you don't need anything for it. You can play the game for free and go into World vs. World. It's really fun. I like it. I can highly recommend it to new players as well. Do you have any advice for World vs. World Legendary rings? How do you grind for those rings? I mean, just continue playing. It's really like World vs. World Legendaries is like, just continue playing, especially if you have time in the prime time of your server, so that you actually can get some big Zerg fights and big, how's it called? Defenses and stuff like that going, so that you actually get the tickets from there as well. But in general, just farming the tickets with the badges of honor and that kind of stuff from the reward tracks and the pips, it just continue playing. It's really like the rings, the legendary backpack, the armor, everything will be reachable. Just take your time. It's really like, just have fun, enjoy the game mode, because you can't speed it up that much. You know, it's really like the only thing that helps there is using boosters and stuff to get the level if you need the levels. And that's about it. It's really like getting to understand that you have to have fun in the game mode and consistently play it, because otherwise you will burn out. It takes a long while to actually play this game for the legendary rings in World vs. World. Yeah, they really buffed that with the Infinite Siege. I agree. That's why you have the Infinite Siege, that you can use it to actually showcase who's the best in World vs. World. Yeah. I see. Yeah, exactly. The weeklies help a lot. Of course, that's why when you play a lot of World vs. World, you get the weeklies passively anyway. This helps. Just try to commit to those and you will be fine. Yeah. When you play one spec over and over, you can create secondary sketchy keybinds. Yeah, I think especially if you play something like Untamed, where you actually have a little bit more of a need to use all the keybinds, because they're actually like F6 or something baseline. So that can be a little bit bad in that sense. But our mechanists, those are really close to having secondary keybinds. But all the other specs I actually think is not that important that you have like 2 different setups. It's like only for really tryhards that really have some crazy idea there. Yeah, you have to actually farm a lot. Getting all legendary takes a while, yeah, that's true. I'm 200 World vs. World level and already have 7 legendary spikes. I mean, I don't know how many you need. I actually really don't remember how many you need for the legendaries there, but I think you can get them quite consistently. And actually, I think I never sold them on my characters. I have them laying around as well. I have 170 just on this one. And I have like in total like 1000 or something. And I'm not even playing World vs. World that much. As you can see on my World vs. World level, I'm not that high World vs. World rank. So you get them very consistent. You just have to commit time. Yeah. I still try to find my class. I like to play constantly. Yeah, I think finding your class in Guild Wars 2 can be really hard, especially for a new player. But what I can recommend you to do is just trying out different classes and stick with the one that you enjoy the most. But in Guild Wars 2, that's the cool part. You can actually just switch your mains every now and then. It's really easy. It's not really, you don't get punished for playing multiple characters. It's actually the opposite. You get actually rewarded for doing so. So Guild Wars 2 is really friendly when it comes to all characters. So maybe we can get the surprise sneak here. Yeah, this player? No, not AFK. Okay. I can't fight. Here is not that well to fight, but okay. This is not a good place for me to fight a Spectre, because they can port up and down. I would rather go somewhere else. Please. I have to unbind Signet of Fire so I can play Catalyst comfortably. Yeah, I guess if you don't want to accidentally use it, I can see why this is important. But typically I would say it's better if you can restrict yourself so that you don't have to use it, because unbinding keys is in my opinion a little bit dangerous, because if you swap classes and you still have the same setting, or if you swap just builds and you have a different key there, it's a little bit a bad thing, but I can see why you would do that, yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you enjoy all the classes, then you should probably start with one. Just pick one randomly if you enjoy all of them and you will be fine. Yeah, and you can, after all, you know, after a while you will get all of them. You know, it's like just committing to the game. You will have enough time and more, so to say, resources to get all of them, and then you will actually get more out of it as well. So that's what I did. So I have 70 characters. You probably don't need that many, but at some point you will actually get multiple ones very easily as well, especially if you're competitive modes where you get those tomes to actually easily level, or also level from birthday boosters, stuff like that. It's actually really, really easy to get a full characters, yeah. Yeah, Navi, I have 70 characters, mostly for storage, I would say. But I have like, it's just, you know, I played the game for way too much, yeah. That's just the truth. You don't have enough keybinds. Okay, then it's okay. I mean, that's Signet of Fire. You would probably not use actively anyways on a power catalyst, so it's okay to not bind it then. But I would say maybe you should find a way to find keybinds for all your skills, because if you don't bind your 9th skill here, might be an important one for some builds. Yes. Yeah, you can actually. That's really cool. They did that a while ago. you could also import and export your keybinds, which is really, really cool because that actually means that you can easily switch your settings for different characters and stuff as well. It's really cool. They did it a while ago, and this was a really, really good feature they added, I would say. This is a power Chronomancer build, yes, and it is insane in my opinion. You will see that when I get some outnumbered situations or something. It's really, really good. It does crazy damage, has crazy sustain, and yeah, what can I say? It's just very fun to play. Yeah. Build guide coming up very soon, Filthy. Yeah. Any fun class recommendations for open world? Oh, we have some enemies going. I have to talk about that later. Give me a second. That was close. Holy shit. I mean, if you miss the burst engage of a Willbender, that's a little bit scary, I have to admit. But at least we killed them, yeah. The only thing I don't have a keybind for is my homestead door. Yeah, I mean, you can use, for example, where is it? How is it called? The Splishhot radial wheel. So you can get the wheel for your mounts, and you can also put, where is it? Mount wheel. Yeah, you can also put other stuff on this wheel, for example, the door or fishing and that kind of stuff. So it actually helps with that. So it uses one keybind for multiple utility and stuff like that. Yeah. In my opinion, a good way to finding a class you like is to check Snowcrows and stuff for a weapon you like and test the feel of the weapon. I think the problem is the weapon is not always like the only thing about a class, but I would say it's a good let's say point that you bring up here is that a class can feel really different depending on the build you're playing. I wouldn't say the weapon is the only thing that matters because the build itself might be different. For example, I would say a spear Chronomancer might feel completely different than a spear virtuoso, even though the build itself is quite similar, but it feels different because of the class that it uses. Yeah, so the weapon might not be the only thing that matters, but I think it's a good point to bring that up, that not only a class might be. Sure, let's go for some one-on-ones. Wait, is it? Yes, let's go for some one-on-ones. Let's go for some one-on-ones against a good player here. We have a friend. So let's play against Untamed. I can't really give like that much feedback, but let's go for it. This might be a little bit hard because this player has a lot of range. I don't. So let's see. Nah, okay. I have to go for a different weapon here. Okay, different weapon. So, what is the different weapon that I want to play here? No, maybe I try once again. One more try. No, I mean this is a so to say scheduled one-on-one. It's not a roaming thing here. Okay, let's go. Let's try it again. I have to play it a little bit safe here until I don't. Oh, that's a lot of barrier. What the fuck? The pet is killing me. No. 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 Oh, what killed me there? What killed me there? That feels so bad. If I had some range in this kit, I would easily win that. But I really think this is the build to go for. So sad. Yeah, I mean, this is not the best build, sadly, for a 1-on-1 like this. It's really fun to play in outnumbered situations, but in 1-on-1s, like with this much range and open field, it's really hard to fight. Especially when the stealth annoys me here so much. No, the longbow. The longbow is too much. Okay, let's going for a real build now. Or 1-on-1 build rather. That was winnable. Okay, he doesn't want Elementalist. It would be too broken. Okay, then not Elementalist. Then I go for Necromancer, I guess. Yeah, of course, I could play some unnamed, some builds that I would not like to be, let's say, seen here on the stream. But I want to play fair builds to actually kill them as well. Yeah. So what do I play? I guess I play. Let's go for the absolute insanity and going for Celestial Harbinger. You know, just back to the roots. Classic old school. Let's going for classic Harbinger. I think Harbinger might be a decent one. I have a question regarding reward tracks in PvP and versus world. I heard the reward boxes are affected by Magic Find. Bit of a bummer. Should I have saved them and open them when I can with 400, 500 Magic Find? So it gives you more loot or better loot. It increases the rarity of the loot. So if you're going, for example, for Ascended gear, or if you want to go for just getting a little bit more value from them, yes, Magic Find affects them. And it's actually quite important. If you save like 10 different reward tracks, then actually you should get the highest possible Magic Find, sure. But that's the only thing, yeah. If you like, it's not like changing it like from 10 gold to giving you like 50 gold, yeah. Oh my god, he interrupted my stump break. I think I actually hit the elixir. That's a good perk. The range of this range is so insane. The longbow. You know, that's what we talked about. Longbow in PvP and World vs. World is actually really good. The longbow. Yeah, I think I can win this. Yeah, no, there we go. There we go. Yeah, Celestial Harbinger is quite good. I mean, I actually killed him, you know, that's the, but I agree, It's actually, if I would go for the forbidden build, I actually might struggle to kill this. Good point. But I don't go for forbidden builds, you know, that's not what I do. The longbow range snipes are really annoying, I have to be honest. Oh, the CC, how long can it be? The projectile block of this thing is also very annoying, I have to be honest. I'm just waiting for the dodge to use this and I win the matchup. That's the unfair part about this. Okay, I'm swapping to power now. Let's try power. So let's see how this one goes. This is a really good player, like high platinum PvP player. They know what they are doing. Friend of mine. So let's see. So now it should be a little bit of a harder matchup in that sense because I don't have my celestial stats that help me survive here. It's always, if I hit the elixir, I win. I'm deciding to buy either Ritualist or Carrion for a budget build for my core Condi Guardian and getting Firebrand and POF, which is better. I would go for Ritualist. Ritualist gear is way better on Firebrand and Core Guardian as well. I would go for Ritualist, yeah. Celestial is like, would be top tier for open world, but other than that, I would say, yeah, Ritualist is like probably the way to go there. I have to kill the pet, you know, it's really like the pet kills me here. And there comes another one. Oh my god. Untamed is so disgusting with longbow on an open field like that. Okay, now he doesn't have knockback. But I missed my elixir. That's not something that you want. Nice. I hit this spear. Yeah, if you hit the spear here, that's the nice combo. Nah, I think I'm too bad at Ranger to actually do the 101 as a Ranger. You know, Mike, I like Ranger, but in competitive modes, I'm not good as a Ranger. I'm not like I can't really compete against a player that's actually really good at it. So Relic of Friendship, that's good. I like it. So now we go. Okay. Pet swap. Let's see. That's good enough for. Okay, bunker untamed now. Let's see how this one goes. What's still wrong pet? Okay. The pets are too confusing apparently. I have to get some participation in a second. We even have lookalike characters to play clones. That's amazing. Especially if you have, for example, the same names as well. It can be so confusing in competitive modes. Okay, let's see how this goes against the Bunker Untamed. Oh, that's a lot of condis, I have to be honest. Yeah, the condis are too much. It's crazy. The condi output of the build that this guy is playing is insane. Let's go. I mean, if I don't win now, this build seems broken. I have to be honest. Oh, the siege turtle getting carried by pets. I don't like it. There is your tanky untamed build. Let's see who wins this one. Looks disgusting, to be honest, this build. I'm not sure if this is actually winnable for anyone. This is Bunker Untamed. How can you win against the Bunker Untamed? Holy shit, the amount of condis that puts out consistently. Wait for the condi burst in 3, 2, 1 and then transfer it. And then it cleanses everything. Oh my god, it's annoying. Nice, I interrupt the ambush. Nice, there we go. There we go. That was hard. You get actually a blackline key if you do the main story quests. That's correct. Every day, every week, you get one of the blackline keys for completing the level 10 story and I think level 30 story and level 50 story. If you do those, you actually get a blackline key. That's correct. I might do a video about it, how to farm those if you're interested, because this is like something that can actually lead to some consistent gold that you get per week. German spotted. Yes, indeed. That's why I could read it, you know, if you're wondering. Wish you could see my rabbit condiment mask scepter torch stuff with 3200 toughness and 100 condition damage. So win 1v2s very often. Yeah, I think this sounds like a very annoying build. I have to be honest. I think I might struggle against that. Yeah. Yeah, it's weekly. It's weekly. Thanks, by the way, Dexter, for the Prime. Really appreciate it. And for the follow, Angsty. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all your support. Hope you're enjoying this stream. So now I'm a bit more talkative again after the 101s here. I hope you enjoyed them. It was quite fun trying some different builds against some different builds to fight. It was quite nice. Yeah, Celestial Harp is so good. It's so good. It's insane. Finally figured out why it didn't work 2 days ago. Nice, at least you did it. I hope you know how to do it now, and I hope it's not an issue that like all the people face, because that would be sad, you know. If people can't do subbing even though they want to, that's just not good. So thanks that you did it now. Really appreciate the support. Yeah, if you have any questions, any comments, let me know. I'm always happy to debate some stuff and have some fun. Other than that, I mean, World vs. World is just very casual. I feel like there is nothing. I really feel like this time of reset, I'm on Bava Nivos, and it's like there is nothing going on. There's nothing. I wanted to show some Zerg fights. Nothing happening. You know, if I go to EB in the evening, sometimes there is nothing. You know, no one. That's insane. It's so dead. It's really sad. I feel like this alliance system sometimes really is like really amazing, and sometimes it's really, really bad. It feels so bad. Yeah. The problem was that Twitch and Prime were no longer linked. Oh, okay. Now you had, after relinking, you get it again. Okay, that makes sense. I think Blackline keys drop every time you do level 60 and level 40. Only level 10 stories once per week. I'm pretty sure it's not the case. I'm pretty sure that's not the case, because then you could easily farm them infinitely, so to say, and they don't want that. I'm pretty sure it's all weekly linked. So you get one per week per story step that you do. So if you do level 10 story, you get one for level 40 story and one for level 60. I'm pretty sure it's not for, how is it called? You can't get it, so to say, multiple times a week from the level 40 story. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. So you can get 3 keys per week with doing this method if you really wanted to level that fast. Yeah. You can also farm keys through completing maps. That's true, you can do that, but it's not guaranteed, whereas the weekly from the story is guaranteed. From the maps, it's really good if you do the map completion anyway. For example, the core map, that can be really helpful. But I think the chances for level 80 maps are higher, so that's not that many in the core maps, but still. And I would say it's not guaranteed there, so that's not the best way to farm it. But of course, that's decently enough if you do that on every character. 11 PM with Mao. Yeah, I mean, that's actually good to know, because then we can actually get some Zerg fights going. But that's after my stream time typically, so I can't do that, sadly. I wanted to showcase something on stream, but thanks for letting me know, yeah. Hello, welcome. Please tell me who a newbie can play as. So what can be taken to raids and be worthy in the open world. So don't worry, as a new player in PvE in particular, but in all game modes in general, every single elite spec has a reason to be played. There's no elite spec that is completely dog water. Really, nothing. So every single elite spec, especially in PvE, is meta with a specific build. Yeah. So just play the class that you enjoy the class fantasy of. If you don't have any class fantasy that is, let's say, coming out on top, I have a guide. I can post it. Give me a second. Here, just, oh wait, no, that's not it. this one. If you watch this video, you can see the showcase of all classes and why they are, how they are played and why they are good, for example, in all game modes. And this can help you, yeah, to understand which to choose. Really, they are not time gated. I think that's actually crazy then, because you can then easily farm them if that's the case. I'm pretty sure it should be, but maybe it's just too annoying to do so. But I feel like the gold per hour is quite low because you have to actually level the character, which costs a lot of tomes of knowledge if you want to do that. And it's also not, what could I say? It's also not the most like efficient thing because you have to go through a lot of story steps to get there. So I guess that makes to some extent sense if that's the case. So sorry for spreading misinformation then if that's the case. Then I guess it's not weekly locked, but it's also not that good gold per hour if I can say that, yeah. Yeah, okay, then I guess you're right there. But like I said, it takes a while and it will probably be not worth it to farm them because you can also farm gold and just purchase them from the gem store. And it will probably have higher gold power. I think the only one that is worth it is the level 10 one. Yeah. I think about going to level 60 store multiple times a day. It's definitely much faster to grind maps or gold than to do 40 to 60 stories, depending on the number of characters. Exactly. I think it's you would probably do it with if you have like 70 characters. Maybe you do it if you really enjoy it for your characters that you actually play. But that's about it. I think there should be really no gold farming in the open world that is worse than doing level 60 story multiple times a day to get the key, which then is in turn not real gold because you have to open a blackline chest first and then you might get lucky or not get lucky. Yeah. So I can tell you I opened 2000 blackline chests in one go. I can tell you those are heavily RNG based. So be sure if you didn't see it yet, be sure to watch my blackline key opening on my YouTube channel. This is really, it's like, yes, on average you might make gold by opening keys that you farmed yourself. Yes, of course. But the amount that you get can be like from 1 silver to, from 1 gold up to like, I don't know, 10k gold. It's like insane how much difference value you can get there. So I would not recommend farming blackline keys for gold. I would rather farm gold and buy blackline keys if you really wanted to get those. Yeah, sure. Yeah, of course, if you want to finish them off, sure, that's okay. But I would not recommend farming it in that sense and say this is the way how I make gold. Really, wouldn't recommend that. Level 10 story, yes, that's worth it. But all the other story steps, multiple times a day, no, that's you would be better off doing something different for sure. I've been farming provisioner tokens since I started this game. This is only for legendaries, right? And how many do I need? So legendaries. Some of them at least, legendary armor for example, needs a lot of those tokens. And I would say you need like, how many do you need? I think something like, I'm not completely sure, but it's not that much. So I think you can get them quite easily nowadays. So let's see if we can pull off the 1v3 here. I think that looks quite scary. Okay, this guy is dead, I think. No. Yes. No. No. Yes. Yes. Oh my god, the perma fear. Holy shit. No. What the fuck? I could have easily won that. Oh my god. They CC chained me. Did you see that? That was annoying. So sad. Yeah, it takes quite a while. I'm not sure what the wiki says there. I'm not sure what the wiki says there actually. How many you need? I have to look it up, but I think it's doable in a few weeks actually. Yeah, 50 per gift, 6 gifts per legendary, so that means 300 if you want to go for full armor. Thanks, no drop. And it's actually a lot if you want to go for full legendary, but you also have to imagine that you have to get a lot of gold in the meantime, so you can actually farm that quite consistently. So if you have, like, want to go for full legendary, what is this, like, 1521 times 50, so it's like 1000 or something? 2600 for literally everything? Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah. But that means you are full legendary. So you have to farm the gold for that first. Yeah, that's the thing there. Welcome, Anonymous. Welcome. Happy Saturday to you too. Yeah, it's a really low chance of getting the blackline contracts there. It's really low. I mean, we had someone here in chat that actually got 5 of them and 800 tries. So it depends heavily on how lucky you are. But I can tell you, check out the video and you will see what it means to be like, yeah, RNG. Yeah, for sure. Welcome, Huntress. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate it, by the way. In my opinion, if you're crafting Gen 1 or 3 legendary weapons, it would be nice addition when doing map completion to get some blackline keys. Yeah, definitely. It's sadly not the most efficient thing, because I feel like Gen 1 map completion does give you just a few. Okay, those are like a lot of players. Like 6 or so. Okay, let's try to do some stuff here, but I feel like they are full squad here. I'm not sure if we can fight those. Yeah, that doesn't look that good. Oh my god. Yeah, 6 players of the same guild. Or 5 of them. It's not good enough. I think the most optimal way of getting blackline keys is, if you want to get the blackline keys directly, is doing it every single week, level 10 story, and then farming map completions for it. Yeah, if you want the blackline keys directly. If you want the most optimal way of getting blackline keys, I'm not joking, is getting gold and saving it up, buying gems when the transaction is low, and then getting like 10k, 100k, 200k of gems, and purchasing the blackline keys when they are on sale. This is the fastest way, or the most efficient way of your usage. I think no way that you get more blackline keys than farming gold and doing this method. Yeah, I hope that's a reasonable take, but I'm pretty sure this is the case. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Bloodstone Fan is really fast, but it's only once per character. Of course, you could go. That's also not that good. Yeah, you should probably get it on every character that you use. You get it quite fast, and then you get the level 80 map completion. That's good. But it's also once only. So it's not like something that you can do repeatedly. I think the only thing that you can really do consistently and guarantee it is like the level 10 story quest. And that's weekly locked. Which is not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's really worth your effort and time. But it's not something that I would recommend like the only way to do it. I think if you want to get like 2000 blackline keys like I did, you should just farm gold and purchase gems with it. That's the straight up best way, I would say. And I would always say, like, yeah, to me, it's not like worth it. You know, it's really like, if you want to get something like the permanent contracts, just get them from the TP. Yeah. Gambling yourself is like not a good option. Really, it's not. Bloodstone Fan, Dragonfall, Biora Marches, Gothma Valley, or Drizzlewood. Quick chance for a key. Yeah, but it's only a chance and you are limited by your characters. That's the problem. So if you have like 70 characters like me, yes, you might have 70 tries for every character, for the whole thing, and getting multiple characters. Yes, you can do that, but multiple maps rather. But it will not be leading to some crazy, I don't know, efficient or long-term key farming. It's just not. I mean, it takes a while to get 70 characters completed here, I guess. But after that, you can't do it consistently anymore. So maybe we can get the kill here. Nice, got him. I have 70 characters, yes. This is my, yeah, I don't really like it to mention that all the time, but yeah, that I have 70 characters. As you can see here, 72 character slots, 70 characters. I just have a lot of storage characters, you know. I like to just for Snowdrop, I showcase my character here again because he likes it so much. Yeah, that's what all my characters look like. I have a lot of storage space. That's really, I have 70 characters from which I use like 20 or so to play, and most of them are just like that. Just crazy amount of storage. Yeah, that's all the time. That's really the one of the 3 things I do in Guild Wars 2 with my gold. Yeah, that's really like, that's what I do with it. Yes, you like it, the storage. Exactly. Exactly. If you get the maximum characters, I think is 69, and you can get, for each expansion, you can get the 1 character slot that is on addition to the 69 character slots. I didn't get all of them. That's why I don't have the maximum. I think the maximum number is 74, I'm pretty sure. But I don't need that anyway. Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, really, that's just a hobby of mine. I don't really know where to spend all my gold, so I just spend my gold typically on getting more back slots, more characters and stuff. That's just what I like to use my stuff on. Yeah. As you can see, I have a lot of Blackline statuettes, and I used all my guaranteed wardrobe unlocks, so I'm full. That's my second thing. I have the full wardrobe unlockers unlocked, so there is not a lot of skins missing here anymore. Still the big chunk of it, but in the wardrobe unlock, there's nothing left. So I have quite a lot of skins, as you can see here. That's my second hobby, so to say. And the last one is obviously going for all full legendary. I'm still missing a few, but not that many. So that's my gold sink, if you were wondering. I looked at that inventory screen, I went blind, so many shinies. I'm very sorry. Yeah, I mean, it's actually not that many. It's just a lot of bullshit that I got from opening Blackline chests, and I just saved over the course of time. It's really, it's not that insane. It's just some random bullshit that you have lying around after opening Blackline chests, I guess. And over the course of time, you save up like unnecessary things like, I don't know, 10k tomes of knowledge or something like that for whatever reason. Yeah. But that's just how it goes, I guess. You know, at some point, if you're a veteran, you have just a lot of characters, and you have a lot of stuff randomly that you get, and you will save it up for a while. Yeah, at least that's what I do. Yeah, because I like to save my stuff so that I have, for example, whenever I need an ascended weapon, I go to this character. I have some ascended weapons lying around. I can use them. I have full legendary, but if you want to go, for example, for a dungeon tour and you want to get the most damage against, let's say, undead, then you want to have an undead slaying sigil on your weapon. This is really annoying to get with the legendary armory, because you have to equip your legendary and then you have to customize it. So let's select the legendary sigil, go to undead slaying. Yeah. So it is really annoying to do that. That's why you have multiple ascended weapons in your gear and in your bag, and then you swap them all the time, and you have just the correct stats in that. Yeah. Yeah. This is like, just over the course of time, I saved a lot of things. Yeah. Yeah, the Gobbler and the Portal Tome are really nice. I keep some other things here as well, because they are just 1 click, and that's faster than using multiple clicks, but it's at least nice to have those Gobblers, I agree. Would love to have the Festival Gobblers also added to the Wizard's Gobbler. Yeah, and I would also love to have in the Wizard's Portal Tome the infinite passes, like the Mistlock Sanctuary. That would be amazing. Like Terrace Pass, Mistlock Sanctuary, Thousand Seas Pavilion, and that kind of stuff. If that's also in there, it would be amazing, but it's not. And the Wizard's Gobbler would also be really cool if you had the Candy Corn Gobbler and Snowflake in there. That would say like half of my inventory here would, or the shared inventory would be in two things. That would be really cool. I'm sorry, Anonymous. I'm sorry. How much is it to buy more character slots? So character slots, if they are not on sale, they are somewhat expensive, but you will 800. But if they go on sale, you can get them for 500. And then it's like 500 for a character. That gives you like a lot of bag space again to save it. And don't forget, a character also comes with 2 equipment templates and 3 build templates. So that means that you can actually have a lot of value for going for a new character. Even if you want to play the character, if you have a second warrior, for example, you can use not the equipment templates, but use the second character and use it again, if you don't mind this a little bit more annoyance of having multiple characters. I use it for the storage mostly, though. Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of Queen Jenna, I guess, at some point. We get the Wizard's Tower VIP pass at some point to combat all the VIP passes. That could be the case. I mean, that would actually, I would buy it. I think it would be a little bit of a scam, because it's like you pay twice to get more convenience of your convenience items. I think that's a little bit annoying, but I guess that's they could go for that. They did that with a lot of other stuff as well. Yeah, could happen. Yeah. At this point, I would pay 800 gems for an infinite tome. Just don't punish me for actually spending gems in it. Yeah, I think that's, for me, I personally would say I would love to have this Mistlock Sanctuary Pass in there if this would have been a better UI. I don't like that I have to, let's say, click to all those like things here. Yeah, I think it would be really cool if I would double click my Wizard's Portal Tome and then it would show something like this. Yeah, something like this where I can then just double click on this specific location. Yeah, so it would be like a grid or something and I don't have to click to get to, I don't know, Istan. Yeah, I think it would be way cooler if I could easily say, okay, I double click and then I open a big window where every single map that I have unlocked, like the achievements panel, something like that. How is it called? How is it called? Yeah, I mean, just like any achievements, that doesn't really matter. I don't know how it is called anymore. But let's say it's just like like this is like a little bit bigger, yeah, and I can just double click to go to the map. That would be amazing in my opinion. But it's a little bit less convenient with that way. Yeah, the radial thing would also be interesting. Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. But I should just make the locations free on the map for the ones you have the portals. That could be good as well, but I personally really enjoy going, for example, I want to go to the Wizard's Tower. Easy double click, you know, I open my inventory, double click, port there. I don't have to open my windows of my map first and then scroll out. You know, I think the fastest, more efficient way for me personally is always to use the portal tomes. And that's why I have Arborstone and Wizard's Vault, the Wizard's Tower and the Icewood Saga even one. Those I have there because I use them every day and I don't use the Wizard's Portal Tome because they are just one click. This one not so much, but those two are really, really good. Just double clicking, porting there, it's really, really good. And that's why I like to have them here. Opening the map and it would be free to port to this, I think that's too hard for them to implement, and I personally think the convenience is not that big, but I can understand what you're saying for sure. It's kind of crazy that you have to pay money to unlock what is considered the base UI for most other MMOs. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's just Guild Wars 2 in a nutshell. Sometimes the convenience is the only thing that they actually make you pay for. Yeah. Not even the content. The content is free, but the convenience is not. that's the crux here. I would love to right-click the tome on top of the destroy achievement stuff would be open. That would be cool. That would be amazing. Yeah, just right-clicking and then it would show like all the lists or something. That would be really good. I agree. Good point. But it's like, I think a lot of MMOs actually give you, like, say, a problem in the game that you can pay a bit real money and you get the solution sold. Yeah, so it's very common, but I don't like that business strategy. I think it's way better that you pay for something and you get the product and it's a good product. That's not a bad product where you actually have to pay a bit more to get a better one. You know, that's just very bad business in my opinion with the customer at least. Does Soulbeast use Longbow Greatsword? Not in PvE. In PvP you can use that, but in PvE not that much, yes. I think personally in Guild Wars 2 it's completely fine. I'm just a little bit sad if they double monetize me. You know, if I want to get the Mistlock Sanctuary Pass, that's not on me, you know. But if I want to get the convenience from the Wizard's Portal Tome with the Mistlock Sanctuary Pass, I have to pay it again. I think that's a little bit mean, but I would still do it if it actually would free up my space at this point. I'm just saying, personally, it would be cooler if it wouldn't be that. Yeah. Yeah, but I personally think it's like Guild Wars 2 is the monetization is actually, we had that last week on stream, I think. It was the monetization of Guild Wars 2 is very friendly. You know, you pay once, you get all the expansions if you buy the bundle for under $100, way under that, and you get all the content that you have in the game, and you can play the game for 10k hours, even longer if you want, 20k hours, whatever, and you don't have to pay anything. It's insane. So I think the monetization in Guild Wars 2 is really good because you can get every single item in the gem store, even if it's like really good in convenience. If you get the item from the gem store, you can get it with gold. Yeah, so you can't just farm gold, get the convenience. There is no comparison in that sense that you have pay to win in that aspect. It's not there. Everything in the game is earnable through the game. It's insane. Also, a good quality of life for the portal tombs and scrolls would be to make the waypoints on the map free of charging silver for pods. Sometimes you are dumb and port to the map instead of clicking the throw. I think they would do that if they had the, let's say, the engine for that. I think they can just make it so that if you are, they can make it in general, like 0 cost if you are in a map, like, I don't know, Lion's Arch, where it's like a city and then it's free. But they can't give you a single waypoint, I think, just depending on a on and off toggle. I'm pretty sure they don't want that or can't do that. Yeah. I turn my gold into gems, yes. That's like I spent like, I don't know, a lot of gems in my, let's say, Guild Wars 2 life for my character slots, for my bag slots and that kind of stuff. And all of them I actually got with gold. I purchased, so to say, the gems with my gold, with my in-game farmed gold. Yes, that's correct. Because I unlocked the Arborstone scroll last week, I still poured through pressing M. Yeah, that's especially the Arborstone one is really, really bad. Because, or if you do that, because it's in Kanta, which means that it's really far away from everything else. So if you port, for example, to, I don't know, to Verdant Brink, it costs like almost 10 silver. It's like a lot. So you save a lot by using the portal scrums every day. It's really, really good. So it's really important that you use it consistently. That's why it's my inventory, shared inventory. Even though I have like 10k gold in my inventory, I think this is like the small things actually help you to keep your money or to spend less. It's really, really good, really important. But yeah, you can get gold or gems with this thing here in the Blackline Trading Company. Open this tab, go to currency exchange, and you can actually get gems with gold. It's quite expensive if you want to get stuff on the gem store, but you can at least get it. That's the important part. You can farm everything in the game just for real gold. Yeah, everything in the gem store. The only thing that you can't get is expansions. Expansions have to be purchased with real money. That's about it. Even living world seasons can be bought in here. Just the expansions cannot. So it's a really fair thing to actually the customers, I would say. So saying Guild Wars 2 is pay to win is like absolute insanity to me. It's absolutely insanity. No, you can only buy the deluxe editions. You can't buy the real ones. You can only get the deluxe edition if you have the real ones. Yeah. So you can't buy the real thing. It's only the upgrade. Yeah. So if you have the Heart of Thorns one, you can buy the deluxe edition, but you can't buy the Heart of Thorns main thing, so to say. You can't get your Reaper unlocked by just spending gold. That's impossible. Yeah, it's a lot to farm, sure, but at least you have something to do. You know, the game is amazing, and it struggles a bit with the longevity of it. If you are like a PvE player from World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, where you have a gear grind, level cap increase and stuff, in Guild Wars 2, that's not the case. So as soon as you reach full Ascended, full Legendary gear, you will probably struggle a bit with the goal as soon as you notice that you don't have a gear to grind after. But if you see it like a sandbox game, you set yourself your own goals, going for full Legendary, going for all the skins, going for full bag slots, whatever. It's just gold that you farm and you have fun in the game. That's my take on that. Yeah. Welcome, Omar. Welcome. I think I would go for Guardian, personally. Yeah. I would say Ranger is really good in PvE and has some good builds in competitive modes as well, but Guardian is very, very good overall. Guardian is like really, really good. It has crazy good with Firebrand support, has crazy good damage with Willbend and DH. It's just really good in all game modes. I would go for Guardian, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's always depend what you enjoy the most. It's like you can farm everything in Guild Wars 2, that's the cool part. You can farm the open world in Dragonfall, you can farm Drizzlewood Coast, you can go into fractals in instant content, you can go into raids. Everything gives you gold, and you can then purchase gems with the gold. So keep that in mind. It's always like every single thing in the game will award you gold, and this, over the course of time, will sum up so that you can purchase the stuff that you want. So always play the stuff that you enjoy, and you will get rewarded for it. Of course, it takes sometimes more time, sometimes less, but at least you can get everything. Yeah. Willbender is really good for solo play. I have a solo Willbender build guide out, and I think it's actually the best one for Guardian that you could play. It's like a Celestial Willbender. It's really, really strong. Has crazy good boons for open world, for solo builds. Has crazy good damage and a lot of sustain. So just overall really good kit. I will do a new one quite soon because it's actually, I have a new build that is really, really good as well. So I will do after the balance patch a big amount of builds. One of them will be a Willbender. Yes. You didn't upgrade your material storage that much, so you could make a rule to always sell stuff that you don't need when hitting 250 pieces. I upgraded to 2k and it takes a lot longer to hit max. Yes, I think one of the tips I can give a new player is that always check your material storage, which is in your bank, and then open this 9 dots here. And then you can see, so to say, what you can sell here. And one of the things that is really, really cool as well is that you should sell stuff that you don't need, even if it's not at the maximum stacks yet, because it might drop in price and just getting the liquid gold is always better. So if you have something lying around that is worth a lot that you don't need right now, just sell it. Yeah, it's always my recommendation. Of course, it's better if you get forced to do it and don't forget about it. But if you open it from now and then on your own and sell stuff, then you actually get decent money as well. Yeah. What would you say is the best gold farming for pure SPVP and World vs. World player when I'm finished with my PvP weekly stuff? So if you want to play, so to say, continue playing PvP and World vs. World, I mean, just do that and farm typically monthly ATs or daily ATs and stuff couldn't be good. But if you're talking about PvE, if you're done for your PvE stuff and want to go into World vs. World, then I would just say World vs. World and PvP you have to play and just get passively from the reward tracks. That's the only thing that you can actually do. But if you want to go for open world, there are a lot of options. Yeah, just farming the farm train. I mentioned that in my YouTube video about top 10 gold farms in Guild Wars 2, and I mentioned it there, and it's really good. Yeah. Fishing is really, really good. I agree with Sephra. I think fishing is like the most consistent gold farm in Guild Wars 2. You get 50 gold per hour if you do it correctly, 24/7. I'm not joking. You can do it 24/7, 50 gold per hour. Really consistent, really relaxed. It's not for everyone, but you can watch like some movie on the or TV show on the second monitor if you have that, and it's really laid back. Yeah. Fractals are amazing. I have a guide about it as well, about what to do every single day to get the most gold. It's amazing. Fractals are really good there, but also just parking your characters at specific locations can be really, really good as well. It's like insane what you actually get. But don't forget, because you mentioned it just now, yes, PvP gives a lot of rewards from the reward tracks. Yeah, it gives you a lot of gold. Also from the pip system gives you also gold. Yeah, of course. But that's the important part. You can also get a lot of gold from World vs. World. Don't underestimate how much gold you get by completing the pip chests, getting the reward tracks and selling the stuff here. If you go for the most rewarding reward tracks and sell the stuff and sell the materials that you get, it's actually quite rewarding. So especially, for example, if you go for World vs. World, go for the Kanta reward track and then get the wits, which you can in turn convert into favor on this map here, for example, and then go and craft the legendary Orien skins. So Orien Spite, for example, then you get like 1.5k, let's say 1k to 1.5k of profit by crafting this and selling it. It's really worth it, and you can help there quite a lot by just farming the World vs. World tracks. Yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah, it takes a while to complete, but the important part is it will reward you anyway. That's the cool part. If you enjoy World vs. World, it's really nice. And the lamps, I think if you do it fast with a good route, it takes like 1.5 hours or something for all 4 maps. It's really, really easy. It's not too bad. And it's really, to farm those, if you don't mind doing those map completions, you actually get crazy rewards for that. It's just investing a little bit of time and you get crazy gold out of it. But it's of course not for everyone. I don't want to tell that this is the only way to make gold. There are like millions of ways to making gold in Guild Wars 2. Yeah, it's really, everyone has their own way of doing it. Yeah, keep that in mind. So I think this is also the end of today's stream. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun. Thanks for watching. And be sure to check out my YouTube channel. I have some really good stuff coming up the next days. And thanks for all your support. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice weekend. And I'll see you around. See you. Sure, no problem. Always happy to help, Daxia.